an enabler of my stupid ideas. Check out her work at jazzaboo.com. That is JAZAABOO.com. All right, I've been given word that we are ready to throw to the run, so take it away, cleartonic.
Hello, everyone. I'm cleartonic, and we're going to be playing through Dragon Warrior Monsters today. Very excited. Should be a good time. This game is very volatile. There's going to be a lot of things that we have to wrangle. I think it should be fun, so let's get started soon. Just for everyone's awareness, we're going to take the name for Terry about 4 minutes into the run. So we got a little bit of time, but it'll be coming up soon. And then the names for the last 3 party members are going to be a few hours from now. So you have plenty of time for that. So yeah, I guess before we get started, we got TheCowness, Countdown, and Big.
This guy.
I was just about to
Whatever his name is.
say my name.
Yeah, I forgot real quick.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's been a long morning. Okay.
For who? For me. For me.
All right, we'll get started in. Are you ready? Cool. All right, we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Dragon Quest.
Hey.
All right. All right. So we start off in Terry's house, and pretty soon we're going to be making our way to Great Tree, which is where the majority of the game takes place. It's a pretty chill intro. We got a few minutes of just kind of getting situated with the game. I think what I want to do to kind of ground this game, because some people are familiar with this game, maybe some people are less familiar with this game. To paint the picture, if you go back in time, they released Dragon Quest 1 through 4 for the Famicom in Japan, and they all had localizations in the West, right? So Dragon Warrior 1, 2, 3, 4 for the NES. And then there was a very long gap for which there was no Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest or anything. So that was from 1992 up until 1999 was when this game was released in the States. It was made in 1998 in Japan. So this was the first of like the localization for this game is like the style of the NES to some degree, but it's also in this kind of like middle territory before all of the modern localizations that people know now. So it's kind of in this like in between area. Dragon Warrior 7 is the same way. So, but yeah, you know, this is a spin-off game. It was on the Game Boy Color, released in 1998 in Japan, and yeah, it's something of a blend of a lot of classic Dragon Quest mechanics and a little bit of mystery dungeon in there, a little bit of kind of like roguelite. You'll see the way that we move around the maps coming up soon. But yeah, we're here. We're in Great Tree. And generally the flow of this game is that we're going to be assembling a monster party and tackling both some bosses in the main gates of the game, and then also the arena. So we have a fair amount of arena fighting to be done, and the end of the game is specifically around the clearing the arena fully. All right, we're getting pretty close to the hero's name, so coming up pretty soon. All right, here we are.
All right, one last refresh. It is TERR.
All right, sounds good. Hair. All right.
Back it up, Ter.
Big turp.
All right, so we are here at the beginning of the game, and we're about to get our first monster. The general gist is that we are going to be the representative for this kingdom to be one of their premier masters. So we say no. Pulio is going to be our friend.
Yeah, so at the start of the game, our sister was kidnapped, and then we get taken away too, and the king tells us that whoever wins this tournament gets a wish, so we're going to try to use that to find our sister.
Oh, yeah. And so we're playing as Terry here. Also, I rolled the lowest amount of HP on the slime, which is kind of cool.
Sure did.
Yeah, so we're playing as Terry, which is one of the main characters of Dragon Quest VI, and so is Malayu. But it's kind of reversed because usually in Dragon Quest VI, you start off with Malayu, and then Terry's a much later character. So In this game, they gave Terry the spotlight. All right, so we're going to start off. They give us 2 herbs to begin with, and then we are off to the beginner gate. So we have a lot of mechanics to talk about over the course of this run, but we are going to start by recruiting a female Draki. This is the only recruit that we have to specifically get a monster and a particular gender on it. Whoops. And then we are good to go, but we really need to make sure that it has the specific female designation because we're going to be breeding it. And we'll talk about breeding mechanics later, but yeah, so we're in the main game now. I think, Countess, do you think you can give us a little bit of an explanation as to how kind of like the floor generates and what we're looking to do as we clear screens?
Yeah, so there's, we're jumped into that Traveler's Gate, that portal there, which takes us into this.
Wow, first try.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
He can't
So,
be stopped. Oh my god.
Keep going, Countess.
Yeah, so we got a randomly generated world here, basically, where the further you get into the game, the more floors there are, but they're all just randomly generated mazes like this. There's a couple of different styles of like floor types and room types that it can pick from. This is one of the maziest looking ones. And yeah, so once we get to the bottom of it, this one in particular has 4 floors followed by a boss floor. They all have bosses at the bottom that are generally references to significant monsters from the Dragon Quest series. So if you're a fan of Dragon Quest IV, you'll recognize the boss of this floor when we get down there. But I'll wait till we get there and not spoil it. And yeah, in this gate in particular, we were trying to recruit that female Draki. Each encounter in this gate has about a 50% chance to be a Draki. Then there's about a 50% chance for it to join us, and then 50% chance if it's male or female. So it's a very lucky pickup right at the beginning. And that's nice because the earlier you recruit it, the more XP you get on the Draki. So that helps it out, and it'll speed along the boss fight at the end of this gate. And yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm like most concerned about going into this run because it usually doesn't take that long, and it's kind of like you have a lot of stuff to do anyways while you're clearing out these floors. So like usually, eventually you'll get it, but to get it right away is very, very good.
Yeah, like I'd say you on average get it by the time you get down to the bottom anyway, especially if you're trying to pick up all the items you can find that spawn in here. But again, getting it earlier gets it more XP.
Yeah. And all of these floors are randomized, right? Like we were just saying. So it's incumbent upon the player to kind of figure out what they need in order to progress through the game. In this first gate, we only have access to herbs, and herbs spawn at a 93% rate. We've got a 5% chance of a warp wing, 1% chance of a map herb, and then 1% chance of a tiny metal. And when you talk about that in a little bit, but generally the idea is that mostly it's just herbs early on. But we actually really value herbs because we do get a healer eventually, but we want to be able to use every turn to our fullest potential. And when you're in combat, you can use items freely and your monsters can still get actions. So, yeah.
You may have noticed there when he opened his menu, he still has 0 gold. You do not get gold when you defeat monsters in this game. Your primary source of income is just selling items you pick up off the floor. So if we're going to buy herbs anyway, we may as well pick up a bunch of them in here.
Yeah, exactly. So even if oh, very good. That's really, really good to get early. Because not only can you sell it, but it's also kind of like a safety mechanism for some of the earlier gates in case something goes poorly. So great pickup. And I think it's probably, like I'll be talking about this throughout the run frequently, but this is a very volatile game because you can already see, I mean, we're only really dealing with 2 items right now, but as the game goes along, I'm trying to efficiently go through and check every screen to see if there's stuff that I can, add to my inventory to eventually either sell it or use it. And resource management is like such a huge part of trying to optimize this game. And sometimes it goes well and you kind of get everything you need and it doesn't have to be super fast, but you kind of like eventually get everything you need. And there are times, especially in the very early parts of this game, where you just, it's like such a struggle to get enough money to do basic speedrun strats. So we're up to an okay start. And yeah.
Here's our first boss. So if you've played Dragon Quest IV, you'll recognize this is Healy from Chapter 1. But he is not going to want to be our friend today. He's going to want to fight us because he's a monster that escaped from the farm, and he says the farm is boring. He doesn't want to go back there, so he tries to fight you.
That's right.
It's a little cathartic if you've done a lot of Dragon Warrior 4 speedrunning and Healy's ruined a lot of your runs. You can kind of bully him here.
That's right.
He doesn't heal nearly as much in this game, right?
Yeah, he gets 3 heal casts in the boss fight, and then he's done. And sometimes if you recruit an anteater monster on the way down and have 3 monsters in your team for this fight, you can kill him before he gets all 3 of his heals off, but even that's pretty rare unless you get a lot of extra XP and maybe a lucky critical hit.
Yeah, exactly. But it's usually pretty safe if you have enough herbs going into it. I made sure that my Draki was was level 2,
Yeah.
and Slip got to level 3, so pretty good.
Like Gaishin.
Yeah. I will heal here. You don't get any experience from boss fights, so you just need to win. But this is looking pretty good. Nice. We'll talk about the charge, mix, cautious stuff that we're doing probably during an upcoming arena. But for now, I'm just trying to take him out. Should be pretty close. Yep. All right. Very good. Cool. I will explain the names that I'm putting in here in a minute, but it's mostly just for some historical stuff I'll talk about. We're going to be taking names all the way at the end of the run for the donations. There's so many names throughout this that it would be a little chaotic to have, incentives for all of them. So we just kind of keep the focus on the final party. But yeah, for your understanding, I named the first one after the Japanese runner called Iteru Sensha. And this was way back in when I started speedrunning. This was the second game that I played around with and did speedruns of. And that was the time where there wasn't, speedrun.com. There was like no real centralization around a lot of stuff. And I managed to find both his Nico blog and some videos that they had posted. And back then, especially, there were like very few speedrunners that would post their videos, right? So it was like really a boon to find it if you could. So yeah, they had some really nice. They had like blog posts about what the strategies were, and the video was like super helpful too. So it was definitely one of my like early inspirations to eventually get into more Dragon Quest speedrunning. So I don't think they're really around anymore. I haven't seen anything from them in many years, but I never forget them. So. Yep, and the second name is for Tetrahydron, who is one of the old Dragon Warrior Monsters runners who used to do it alongside of me. So there aren't that many runners of this game. The Dragon Quest speedrunning community has definitely grown leaps and bounds from when I got started, which is great. But this game in particular doesn't have a ton of runners. It is difficult by nature, and there's just like so much going on through it. But I think it's great, and I think it's cool to see that other people picked it up even back in the day. So, but yeah, we're gonna go through the arena here. We've got we have some explanations. We have a lot of like individual mechanics to talk about, but we can throw it over to the host for a little bit.
Sure. I wanted to just clarify for the audience exactly when those naming incentives will be closing, but it sounds like we have at least a couple of hours for most of them.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So I have some donations I can read here. I have $10 from Some Diener. Tonic is my #1 speedrun hero. Thanks so much for being an important part of the DQRTA community. Best of luck on Monsters, friend.
Oh, thank you.
Also have $10 from Rename. I just went to Buffalo Wild Wings to pick up my mobile order, and they have your stream on every single TV there. No joke. The place is packed with everyone eating wings, drinking water, and cheering you on. Good luck, buddy. You got this.
I can't believe it.
Go figure. What a world we live in.
Thank you, Rename.
Yeah. We also have $100 from Light Arc. Good luck, Tonic.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice. All right, so yeah, I think this is maybe a good time to start talking about the what you're seeing when I go into the plan menu here, right? So in this game, you have primarily outside of the arena, we're in the arena right now, but outside of the arena, you have the ability to just directly issue commands, or you can set either charge, mixed, or cautious like you see here. And it gives you the ability to tell your monsters the type of actions to take rather than directly. And it's relevant mostly because when you go to the arena, you can't tell them exactly what to do. So the game expects you to sort of get used to the systems around the AI and the decision making. And it has a pretty large impact in the way that the run plays out, because you have to get used to what kinds of moves your monster will use if you use charge, mixed, or cautious. Charge, you would expect, it's mostly offensive, so they'll either use spells or skills or just go for regular attacks. Mixed is definitely like the hardest one to try to pin down, but it's basically like buffs and debuffs, and then cautious is healing or defense. So a lot of nuance is put into place when trying to like route and understand what your monsters are going to do, and it's especially important near the ends of the run. So, but for the most part, it's not too complicated in the first like half of the run. So, yeah. Yep. So we are going to just continually clear gates. I think we're off to the Gate of Talisman. And the general idea is that we're going to be, trying to, like, our first major goal is to make it to the D class, which is the last of the first set of arena fights. So everything we're doing is kind of leading up until that moment.
Yeah, just to kind of explain the core gameplay loop of this game, like essentially you go into a gate and then you've got the arena classes. Once you clear an arena class, you unlock another set of gates, and you can skip them. We'll be skipping some in the speed run, and that'll just unlock like all the gates leading up to that point. But normally, casually, you do an arena class, then you've got 2 gates to clear, and you upgrade your team in the meantime, because each of the arena classes is like a noticeable step up in difficulty from the previous one. I actually really like how those fights are designed, because they just very slowly require you to have a stronger and stronger team as you go.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to pay a price to get through them.
Yep.
So you have to definitely like visit the gates and power up. And, you know, we're starting off with just monsters that we catch or are recruited after a boss fight. But pretty soon, we're going to have to start relying upon the power of the breeding your monsters together, because you get some really powerful stuff, and we can explain that when we get closer to it. But for now, we're just kind of catching stuff. There's a pretty low chance this piggy joins us. Yeah, unfortunately it didn't work. But what I'm looking for is a meat treat. So hopefully we see it soon. And the idea is that Picky is a required capture. So birds are very, very good for us. We're going to be using birds pretty much throughout the entirety of the run. And some of these early recruits they're just like non-negotiable. We have to get them. So I can only get them on the first 2 floors, the Picky specifically. But I really want to try to pick up a meat if I can before that. So I didn't find one on this first floor. The Picky encounter is also kind of rare. It's a 20% encounter. So when we get to the next floor here, we're going to just have to basically hang out until we get it. We can technically keep going if we don't get it, if we get such a high level, and just keep going on with the run for a little bit, but I have to like immediately come back here and get it. So you're starting to see why some parts of the early game are pretty volatile, right? We had really, really good luck for Draki, which is amazing. But yeah, we have to get this Picky sometime soon. And yeah, to expound upon what Countess was saying about the kind of the gameplay loop, right? You go into the gates, and the early gates are typically they don't have that many floors to them. So every gate is kind of like a dungeon, and then every dungeon has a set number of floors, and then you crawl through them. The monsters change typically every like 3 floors, and then there's a boss at the end. So, all right. Yeah, we're just going to go to the next floor, and then we're going to hang out and try to find Picky.
And I can kind of touch on how recruiting works while we're looking for this Picky.
Yeah.
Tonic said he was hoping to find a meat treat somewhere around. Basically, there are different monsters are easier or harder to recruit than others, but early on, like, they're easy enough to recruit that there is a small chance that it'll just join you without any issue. But if we can find the meat items, which are beef jerky, pork chop, rib, and sirloin, they will help us recruit a lot. And this picky in particular, if we can find that middle tier, the pork chop, that gives us a really high chance of recruiting it. Unfortunately, you can't get a higher than 90% chance to recruit a monster, so there's always a chance it'll fail, and you really don't like to see that after you've invested a lot of meat to try to max out the recruit chance to 90, and then it doesn't join you.
Yeah, definitely. Looking a little sparse. Usually the way it works is that every floor will spawn between 2 and 6 items. Yeah, life corn's pretty good. All right,
Here we go.
first meat.
CT
What do we got?
meat.
Beef jerky's okay.
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky is the lowest quality, but it's definitely better than nothing. So yeah, we might be here for a minute trying to get this. And if I throw this meat treat and it doesn't work, I probably will reset and try again from the start, even though it feels bad to lose out on my levels. I could also warp wing out and keep my levels, so I might do that. But yeah, you have to just kind of like work with what the game gives you, right? Like if I didn't get that warp wing from before, then I would definitely have to reset and try again. And there's just so much that you'll see as we go through this game that you have to kind of pick up, and everything you get is very random, right? All right, 2 beef jerkies is like probably enough to get this picky, so we just need the picky to show up.
I will point out that we are getting plenty of CT meat emotes in chat for you right now.
Love to hear it.
Perfect.
Nice.
We're sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Big nap.
Yeah, with 2 beef jerkies, and you saw me in the previous picky fight. I actually tried healing it, which might have seemed odd, but if you heal a monster that you're trying to recruit, there's like an internal score, and you basically another one. You kind of boost its affection for you. All right, here we go. So we are going to probably throw 2 of them. If I get very unlucky, I'll work with the 1 beef jerky that I have left, because I have 3 total right now. Okay.
Okay.
This is tough because I want to heal, but I don't want to lose the healer. You know what?
You got a warp wing.
I only had 1. Yeah. Well, we're just going for it. Let's go. It's fine. Yeah. If the healer dies, I can actually still win. So okay, cool.
Oh.
Not good. Another beef jerky's here. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty rough. I probably will warp wing if this doesn't work out again, but yeah, I need this encounter to go my way. It's pretty unfortunate for 2 beef jerkies to fail, because it doesn't take that much to recruit it, but yeah, like TheCowness was saying before, it caps out at 90, so I think it was like a little short of 90. Ideally, you get 2 beef jerkies if you don't critically hit them. You get 2 beef jerkies, and then you try to heal them once, and that usually sets it to 90.
Yeah, because if you use an herb on an enemy and if it gets like close to the full value of the heal off of it, which is 30 to 40 HP, that'll be worth about a beef jerky to 2 beef jerkies.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're going to hang out in the mountains because it has the highest encounter rate.
Nice.
All right, we're back.
We're so back.
We're so back. Third time's the charm for the bird. Okay, so yeah.
No criticals
good.
this time.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to do the exact strat that we were talking about. We'll heal. I could probably do this one more time, especially because of that miss. Yeah, my HP levels are looking real good, so let's do it. Come on, Picky. Help me to help you.
It's not like diminishing returns on using more than 1 herb, is it?
No. But there's a cap, too, so it's
Right.
just a point at which it doesn't help anymore, but yeah. Yeah, our Sliv has a lot of HP now.
Yeah. Huge HP growth.
All right, come on, Picky.
No.
Good. All right, we are going to name this one. I can explain.
Oh, heck yeah.
This is going to be for our friend Midboss. So Midboss also plays this game and has a great time in this run. And yeah, you don't see new runners kind of pick up this game all that often, so I'm always excited. And yeah, they were particularly, Midboss was really great about like asking the critical questions of like why we do things a certain way, and helped me think about it a little bit differently too. So big shout outs to them. All right, I'm going to reorder my party, but yeah, this is really good, we reorder our party, and yep, we got our Draki, we got our Picky, so we're not going to actually need to recruit anything else for the run. Everything that we get is, recruiting through throwing meat treats. So until the very end. So we have quite a bit of kind of safety. Like we pick up all these items now, like all these beef jerkies that we have and the herbs. I'll probably use the herbs and keep them on hand for a while. But beef jerkies, pork chops, ribs, sirloin, we're going to sell them. So, and yeah, you see me as I go through these gates. If it wasn't clear, you need to find the portal to get to the next gate. The next floor. And often what will happen is that I identify where the portal is, but then I'll keep clearing screens to see where the other items could be. This is a pretty dangerous encounter, so we gotta hope that the gremlin doesn't cast fireball on us. If we can get rid of the gremlin quickly, it should be okay. Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay, it did.
Okay, single attack.
Yeah, should be good. So yeah, I was talking before how you can issue commands, and you see here that I'm like able to put direct commands in. So once the gremlin's gone, we are safe. The boss is really not too scary either. It's just, it's really just the gremlin, because there's an encounter with 2 gremlins, and that is very, very scary. They both use fireball. You just immediately lose. This pillow rat is dancing.
He's been dancing the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's working out.
I don't know. It's a pretty good amount of EXP though. Having sleep there is really nice. Having upper is also pretty good. So yeah, because we were able to get that Draki so early, like Cowness was saying, it's just been kind of steamrolling on EXP. We eventually need to get the all 3 of these monsters to level 10, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, where are we going? Yeah, we ran into quite the floor here.
Yeah, part of why we like birds is that they level up very, very quickly. Like there's a kind of 4 or 5 main XP growth curves where if you're just looking at how much XP it takes to get to level 2, you could need 2, 5, 10, or 100, and birds almost always need 2.
Yeah.
So I think the one that we use at the end needs 5, but it's still on a fast path.
Yep, definitely.
And their HP values or HP growth is extremely high.
Yeah, totally. We'll definitely like cover that whole stack growth stuff in a little bit.
So you'll notice when he gets to the bottom floor here, the music actually changes. That's kind of a clue as to which game the boss is going to come from. So in a second here, we're going to see a boss that's referencing a DQ1 enemy.
I'm gonna quiz you later.
Oh, I got it.
Which
Dude.
one it's from?
I was totally gonna guess one until Cowie stole my thunder.
What's your favorite sprite in this game, Tonic?
Ooh,
There are a lot of them.
yeah. I, off the top of my head, it's probably Roboster. Like Killing Machine is one of my favorite monsters. So, yeah, I mean that's a good segue. Like all of these monsters are obviously from the Dragon Quest series, but it's cool because it's like this is the kind of game where they can mix and match all of the monsters from all games up until this point, right? So again, I was saying before about how 1 through 4 was released in the West and localized, but Dragon Quest 5 and 6 came out for the Super Famicom before this game. And we were talking about Terry being from Dragon Quest 6, right? So basically the catalog of Dragon Quest 1 through 6 monsters, most of them are represented in this game.
Yep. Here's the dragon from Dragon Quest 1 that's guarding the princess. Terry talks to her.
No.
Well, Terry tries to carry off the princess like you do in DQ1, but he's not strong enough to grab her, so he's just going to settle for beating up the dragon instead.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, we have a boss fight here, so we're going to set our healer in the back to heal. We can try to land asleep. It's not a big deal if we miss. The most dangerous thing from this boss is fire-air, but as long as we keep our health above around 15, we should be okay. Landing double sap is really good. So not only is Picky nice for the breeding that Cowness was talking about, of just being able to level up fast for our monsters, it also is just really good for having the sap skill so that we can lower defense. So we are crushing this fight, actually.
Yeah, it's going really well.
Really good. Oh,
Nice,
okay.
Kaijin.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
Yep. All right. I'm going to show you some of the randomized names. So we have Ty. If you just do the defaults, they give you a bunch. These are kind of strange already. But yeah, just roll a few of them. We'll see. Cloud. Oh, yeah. Cloud. Yeah.
Clowns.
Yep. Cool. That's right. 2 clowns.
Yeah.
Just to add on to what Tonic was saying about this game, including all the, a big mix at least of the monsters from DQ 1 through 6. My favorite thing playing through this was like you'd encounter a boss monster like the dragon and be like, oh, the dragon killed me a lot in DQ 1 and now I get to have him on my team. That's awesome. Or even with like the breeding later, you might discover the formula for the Roboster Tonic mentioned and, oh, I played Dragon Quest 2. That thing killed me all the time. Of course I want that on my team.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's cool because there's we'll see foreign trainers pretty soon, and the foreign trainers will have a bunch of monsters that are sort of like rare and you don't encounter all that much, so it even gives you more like incentive to explore and try to figure out like, oh, I want that, All right, so we got the dragon, and the dragon's actually a really good ally, but unfortunately, in order to access this gate, we have to give it away immediately. Pretty unfortunate. It seems kind of cruel to me that the game didn't just check for you to have it, and instead takes the monster away from you, because the guy down there is looking for somebody who can breathe or just use a fire skill at all. So. Interestingly, if you have the gremlin, we were talking about the gremlin encounter before, it was a little scary. The gremlin actually does have fireball, so if it happens to join you, or if you had a lot of meat treats, you could throw a meat treat at it, and if the gremlin joins you, it means that you can keep the dragon. So it's kind of like a slight routing pivot if you really wanted to, but we fight the dragon so that we can have it join us, and then we basically just give it away right away.
Yeah, the Gremlin has the same join chance as the Picky, but sitting there for 3 or 4 turns while it has that Fireball spell is very dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. And as you saw, the boss is typically not very hard, so you can take it out. All right. I'm really, really happy about the start of this run. Getting Draki female first try, really nice. The gender of the Picky doesn't matter because we're going to be breeding it with a foreign trainer. And this is the point where I'm actually going to use this, we can start to sell off our extra stuff. See how many herbs we have. We have a lot. We have a warp wing to bail us out in case things get kind of nasty. We've got about 12 herbs. And we're entering the most dangerous part of the early game, I would say. So we need to get the Draki and Picky to level 10. Or really, the Draki to level 10 and Picky to high level 9. And this gate is it's kind of like a side bonus gate. And it gives us access to stronger monsters. And stronger monsters give us more EXP, right? But in the early parts of this, it's kind of scary. So we kind of need some nice encounters to begin with to get a few levels to help us along. So we'll see how the first few look. This is a pretty good fight. So I'm going to set the healer who is in my first slot to defend. And then the other 2 birds are just going to try to deal with the Big Roost. I don't love a miss right away, but it's actually doing pretty good so far. These guys can use a skill called dodge, which basically just redirects an attack to somebody else on the field. It could be their own ally, actually. I'm going to just play super safe here because we have quite a bit of herbs. And if I get this fight down, I'll get quite a bit of EXP. So, but yeah, we're going to power up a little bit. I think it's probably a good time to give it to the host. And we'll get an update afterwards.
Absolutely. We have $10 from Shadow Killer. Good luck, T. This is more fun than deep diving just chatting at 2 a.m. Hang in there, Bic, and countdown. It's almost nap time. Shout out to Cowie up front and the rest of the DQ crew hanging out in the background. CT meet.
Thank you.
Nothing's better than
I know, right?
than that. Tripping. But thank you.
We also have $10 from Pixel Dude, hoping to thank cleartonic for all the helpful DQ3 SFC speedrun resources. I may even start recording my runs in a few decades when I finally feel like I'm improving.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
We also have $50 from Geary with no comment. Thank you for the generous donation.
Okay, we're good.
Call help a little dangerous.
Yeah, you see that damage? 18. Spot Slime is not messing around. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's kind of unfortunate, but out of all monsters to get knocked out, the healer is actually okay. I pick up the healer there as kind of a safety strat so that I can basically do exactly what it just did. It's pretty nice to have the healer later so that we can obviously, heal our party. But I think we're good. We have a chance of a special floor here, which we'll explain in a second. But if I could save the game right now, that'd be super good. Okay. Oh, no, one more. Sorry. I know I'm just like spattering off stuff. We'll talk about mechanics of some of the special floors in a bit, but I think, long story short, it's okay that the healer went down here. I need the other two to not go down, and if they do, then we got a warp wing out. This is a pretty scary fight.
Yep.
I think we're just at the, like, we're high enough level that we can go for it, but okay.
Nice.
This the spot lines are out for blood right now.
That was a huge miss, though.
Yeah. All right, we're just gonna stay healed and. So when you use an item like that, oh, very nice. Thank you, Itaro-san. When you use an item like this, you can see that I get to use an item, and then my monsters will take an action, right? And they're taking actions according to whatever I had in the plan menu. And if they're already set to command, meaning that I previously gave them a command, the only thing that they're ever going to do is just do a single target physical. They won't use skills or spells or anything like that. So if you want to use the item function and have them use other skills, then you need to have them on charge, mixed, or cautious. So we got to level 10, which is good. So even though the healer died, our EXP is actually looking really good. Let's see. Yeah,
Nice.
Perfect. Okay, great. We're going to need to see this guy more later, and I don't really have that much to sell right now. I'm going to keep this, and then I'll just buy a bunch of herbs for some safety. And let me see how many we have. Just getting used to like how inventory flows in this game and everything is kind of tricky. But we're off to a pretty good start. Let's see our HP levels. Yeah, I'm actually, let me see. I'm going to buy a few more because herbs are actually pretty valuable up until like the halfway point. So I might as well load up. And at this point, so when you make it to a special floor, you can save the game, which is super, super good. So basically this progress is saved. So I got to level 10, the Draki, level 9 on the Picky, and even if I get wiped in some of these upcoming encounters, which could be scary, it's really nice to have that safety save. So in a good spot. Yeah. Let's see. Countess, you want to help me, and maybe we can talk about special floors together?
Yeah, so that shop that we just visited was one of the special floors you can find. Those can only spawn on a multiple of 3, so that was the 3rd floor. We might find another one on floor 6. They're usually helpful. Like, there's shops, there's priests that will like fully heal and revive your team and refill your magic, which is really nice in the deeper gates. Sometimes later on, we'll be more likely to find some special floors that might be detrimental, like there's some maze-looking rooms that you can't shortcut through, and just like there's a coliseum where you're forced to go through a couple of fights, some stuff like that. And there's like I think you said a 50-50 chance of there being a special floor.
Yeah, that's right. It's 50-50 chance of a special floor at all when you go into a multiple of 3, and then it depends on the gate that you're in of what your chances of what that special floor is.
Yeah.
So I think in this gate it's 30 and 30 for the shop that we just got, the heal station that Countess was saying, and then there's some other stuff like there's like a chest floor, right?
Yeah.
And I think the basic forest maze I think is 20%. So yeah.
Yeah, there's one special floor that you just mentioned that's just a bunch of treasure chests, and early on they're awesome. They're just usually full of herbs, but you get to the later gates and then usually it's 1 item and 7 mimics.
Yeah, exactly. Another warp wing is really good. So basically, like in the early game, we're really hoping for like a massive windfall, which usually comes in the form of finding a rib, or really valuably is finding either a wind staff or a mist staff, because they sell for a lot. You have to go to the special shop in order for them to be able to be sold at their max value, specifically the staves. But if you can find something that gives you a lot of money early on, it's pretty good. This run is off to a really, really good, consistent start, but we haven't really hit our like windfall yet. Here we go. Yeah. Woo! So this is great. I'm actually just going to check what all these chests are and keep a memory, and then I'm going to remove as many herbs as I need. So most of these are just herbs.
Yeah.
Pork chop's good.
Yeah, usually it's a bunch of herbs and then 1 item that's worth a little bit more than the rest, which is this love water, and the pork chop's a little better too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so we're only going to take... we're going to take the left side. So the pork chop is not amazing, but it's pretty good. It sells for up to 80 gold. The love water is up to 60.
And even though it's just chests, you can still also save here. Pretty much any special floor, except are the conveyor floors considered special
Yeah,
floors?
they are. You can't
Okay,
save
but
on
you
those.
cannot save on those. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
So
sure.
warp wing, it's good.
Nice.
It's really good. Yeah, they sell for up to 100, but usually 75. And yeah, with all the warp wings we have, it's looking pretty good. Unfortunately, we're on a floor now where you can see, okay, this guy's actually kind of dangerous, so we are going to attempt to tank through. He has Blazemore, so let's see how it goes. Okay, we're alive.
31 damage is a lot
Yeah,
at that time.
it is. Nice. Very good. Okay, our levels are doing great, so we are easily ready for the boss. It's a little scary without healer alive, but we have a lot of herbs, so. And yeah, what I was saying, oh, good. Yeah, I was just worried that this was going to be really hard to find, but we actually found it, so.
It's right there.
All right. Yeah, we're just going to go right in. And we're back in Dragon Quest 1 land.
Who could this be?
There's only so many bosses in DQ.
Yeah, I know. There's like 3. It is, in fact, the Mad Knight.
Yep.
Mad Knight, we just need to look out for Massacre, correct?
That's right. Yes. So I'm going to specifically make sure that I put in these commands to be safe on turn 1. He
Nice.
usually goes to sleep, and it's usually not too much of a problem, but if he stays awake for too long, it's kind of dangerous. So we're going to land Sap twice. This guy has 300 health, and yeah, generally the idea is the Draki is using sleep as much as he can, and then we just kind of slowly chip away. So even if sleep fails on one of these turns, it's like usually okay, but yeah. The Mad Knight specifically has a move called Massacre, which will do a critical hit to anything on the field, including itself. So it's good if it hits itself, but it's, you know, instant death if it hits you. So
Yeah, it hits for about 80 damage.
yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Looking good. He's going to sleep. All right, we'll keep it up. He's almost down.
Nice.
Very good. All right, we are going to name this, and then yeah. So pretty soon you'll see that many of the monsters, the bosses, like won't join us, but for now they do. So we name the Mad Knight after a longtime community member, Everhate. So Everhate was a so I've been around the Dragon Quest speedrunning community for a long time, and Everhate's one of the few people that had preceded me. They were doing Dragon Warrior 3 runs long before me, and sadly they have left us, but I wanted to give them a shout out.
Yeah, he was someone who really helped me out when I was starting to learn Dragon Warrior 3 and Dragon Warrior 4 back in, like, what, 2015, 2016?
Mm-hmm. All right, let me check my money. It's only 10, but I just want to see. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going through an arena, and we can probably explain near the tail end of the arena, but we can give it over to the host for a bit.
Sure, I would just like to read this very generous $200 donation from Mardok. I finally got an antidepressant that works for me last year after 3 decades of trying, so this is a celebratory donation. Mental health!
Nice.
And also an encouragement for everyone who's not found the right help yet. Keep trying. And I would like to just talk about the cause we are raising money here for at RPG Limit Break. RPG Limit Break 2025 proudly supports the National Alliance on Mental Illness. To get involved in the fight against the negative stigmas around mental illness, please reach out to NAMI via their state-level organizations, on Facebook where they can be found as NAMI, or on Instagram and X as @NAMICommunicate. Remember, it's not a weakness to need help. Please reach out if you feel like you need it.
Okay, great. So we're off to a pretty good start. We are so like the early parts of the arenas are usually typically like not very dangerous, right? We're just kind of getting through it. It's typically the last of the 3 fights. So you go to the arena, you fight the first 2 fights, they're usually like pretty easy, and then the last one is like a little bit more difficult. We're still in the early parts of this game, and you got Mad Knight, who is the boss of this like kind of special gate that we just went to. So our power level is like easily enough to clear this fight. The only thing that can go wrong in this fight is that the Skullroo, the guy on the right, has the ability to confuse our Mad Knight. And if that specifically happens, then the Mad Knight can start to ruin our entire team.
The Massacre Gambit is back
Yeah,
on.
exactly. So the crits just don't stop coming.
I know, man. What is this?
Who?
Yeah,
Okay, can I get a hubris level check after this? That's like the 6th crit.
yeah. No,
6,000?
we gotta tone it down a little bit because we're gonna need those later, you know. But yeah, that was super easy and very good. Okay, so at this point, you know, we start to be able to customize our game plan a lot, and you can go straight to D class there, which is kind of cool, right? And we're gonna see that later when we go from C class to S class, right? And the idea is that you kind of have the ability to forge your own game plan through this. So the speedrun obviously wants to do things fast, but you have some flexibility in the way that you do it. So I'm using the regular shop here and basically trying to get as much money as I can. We're about to do some breeding. Let's see how many warp wings I have. 3. So I'm going to hold on to those for now. Eventually I want to afford this thing at the bottom here called the Beast Tail, but I don't have quite enough money yet, and that's okay. So yeah, so we're going to do our first breeding here. So disclaimer, I have to be really, really, really careful about choosing the partners of the breed, because if you mess up, the game like saves immediately afterwards and it's unrecoverable. So I have all these names. I might just take another few seconds to really make sure that we do this right.
There's no shame in going into the info screen
That's
first.
Right. Yes. All right, so it should be Teru. It's going to be Draki, and this is going to be with the Mad Knight that we just got, and that's going to make Mad Pecker, and that's correct. So good. Looks good.
Yep.
So yeah, it saves right there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty punishing. It makes sense why they set it up that way, because they didn't want you to like experiment too freely, and they want you to like kind of feel the power of your choice, you know?
It's kind of weird though, because they reverse that decision in
Yeah.
Monsters 2, and they just show you without even selecting the second monster what it'll be.
Mhm.
I know we got a couple hours before names, but how long till any of the volatility that you've been talking about starts?
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit away. We've got maybe like, I don't know, an hour or so before that, hour and a half.
All right.
You know, birds, bees, beanie.
Beanie. Play Beanie.
That's right. But yeah, so we have our Mad Pecker now. So Mad Pecker is our first monster that we got through breeding. Breeding is really like the core mechanic of making your team strong in this game. And you're going to see very, very quickly just like the power level massively increase. So in order to breed in this game, you have to have 2 monsters that are opposite genders. They have to be at least level 10. And that's basically it. You have to have enough money to hatch their eggs. And at this point, all we're trying to do is clear the D class arena so that we can advance the main story plot. So we just made a Mad Pecker. Mad Pecker alone is going to be able to get us through that, but we have to power it up to level 11 so that it can learn the spell Infamore, which is a big AoE attack. It has a fast animation, and it does a lot of damage, and it costs very little MP. So overall, for this point in the game, the spell Infamore is really, really good.
Yeah, kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Do you because every time you breed 2 monsters together, the product always has a +1. Now that affects how much it grows per level.
Yeah, it's so it does get a plus level afterwards. It's actually kind of complicated because it's not just +1. It's a product of how many more levels over level 10 you are. But it's not linear. I think TheCowness, right? It's like it goes like 20 to 30 will give you +2, and then like 40 to 50, like your level of the person you're breeding.
Something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's something like that. But like when you breed them together, your plus level eventually goes up. And the only real significance of your plus level is that it boosts your monster's max level, like the maximum level that they can get to.
Oh, really?
The basic monsters that we have here, I don't know what they are, but they're very low. It's like max level like 18 or 20 or something, right? So getting plus levels just over the course of the game will help you breed monsters that are able to like scale up and get to, approaching 99.
Yeah, if you get like a huge number of plus numbers, like +20, +30, it starts adding like +1 to random stats on level up. But even then, it just doesn't really add to anything. So it's just a negligible mechanic.
Yeah.
mainly about the max level increase.
I see.
Yeah, definitely. But when two monsters breed together, a lot of things happen for the child and like the way that the mechanics work around it. So to start, you take the sum of both of the parents' stats, right? So imagine, imagine the Draki had like 100 HP and the Mad Knight had 200. You will sum them together for 300 and then you quarter it. And that's what the starting stat will be, right? So in that case, it would be 75 for the level 1 product.
Which is huge.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to see that later when we've got Whipper. One of the naming incentives is for Whipper, which is one of our final monsters. It has huge HP, like Countdown was saying before. And when you breed two Whippers together, its starting HP is like really, really high, which helps it along. So.
Now, this game, like, pretty naturally gets compared to Pokemon a lot just because of the recruitment mechanic, even though it doesn't really work the same way as throwing Pokeballs. But I always consider, like, the core gimmick of the Monster series to be that Monster Fusion mechanic, which is a lot more similar, like SMT and Persona fusions.
Yeah.
Where, like, we didn't really talk about how the fusion works, but, like, for example, if you start with a bird, you mix something with it, you'll get another bird that usually has, like, similar traits to the other thing you fused with it. At the beginning, it's just kind of based on family plus family, but as you move along, there's more complicated fusions that will require specific monster plus specific monster.
Yeah, for sure. Like the Mad Pecker that we have right now is a combination of any bird and any... this could be good. Hold on, show me Windstaff, show me Windstaff. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Nice,
He can't be stopped.
It's really good. Because if you hit a special floor, you can get to 1,500 gold off of this, which is amazing. So, very good. And a pork chop.
Not bad, man.
Yeah. Good. So, yeah, we definitely need a special floor in order to convert that, but it's really, really good to get it. So, what was I saying?
You were talking about breeding and how families typically there's a standard a product for this family for this family.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have special combinations later to make something like the Whipper, but for now, this Mad Pecker is just take any bird, take any demon family, and that's what you're gonna get for Mad Pecker. And they're usually kind of like thematics. Like for example, if you take a slime and so the generic like blue slime that we saw before, and then you combine it with anything from a zombie family, you get a Babble, which kind of represents like the poison quality of it, right? So some of them, are a little bit pushing it, but for the most part, they're actually pretty like logical.
Yeah, the slimes especially, like they added a lot of slimes to this series just to make those family combinations be represented. Like slime plus dragon is the Drac slime that just looks kind of like a dragon. The slime plus bird is the wing slime with giant wings that we'll see a bit later. Yeah, like more so than any of the other monster families, they add a lot of slimes into all of these monsters games every time they release a new one.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually kind of cool that there are not many examples of this, but there are a few monsters in this game that debuted in this game and showed up in a mainline game afterwards. And the Drac slime that Countess was just talking about is one of them. All right. You can see that my inventory is full. I'm purposely not dumping these herbs because I do want to have quite a few herbs going into the Battle Rex fight, which is coming up somewhat soon. But yeah, you can see that it kind of like clogs up my inventory too. So
Goodness, already.
But yeah, I do still want to go over leaves like that because the leaf might be an herb, but it also could be a map herb or a laurel or a moon herb, and they sell for slightly more. So I got the Windstaff, which is really great, but I still don't have a ton of money on hand. And until I hit that special shop, I still don't have a lot of money to work with. But if I do hit it on a multiple of 3 going down these floors, there's I'd be able to just get a lot of money.
Now, this song is actually misleading. This boss is not a Dragon Quest V reference.
Yeah, it's very odd that they did this, but... Okay, so I hit level 9 on the Mad Pecker, and the idea is I'm trying to get to level 11 so that I can learn Infomore. And the reason we chose this gate is that these Stubsuck encounters right here, they actually give a lot of EXP, and they're pretty quick, so hopefully we'll get there. I have to manage my EXP a little, bit, and there's an instance where I might need to have party members get knocked out. It's actually this is one of the few games. Dragon Quest IV is the other one where, and I guess Dragon Quest IX. There's probably some other examples, but for the most part, when you play Dragon Quest games, the EXP that you get from an encounter is just flat for every party member. It doesn't matter if they were alive or not, or who's in your party. But in this game, it's actually prorated based on how many party members you have. So if I were to take these encounters solo, I would be like effectively getting 3 times the encounters. So, but yeah. Level 11, that's in for more. That's what I was talking about. And we're off.
Bye-bye, Phase Tree.
Goodbye. Yeah.
We don't need you.
Thankfully, we can warp wing and not fight the boss there. And yeah, as Countess was saying, that's like that whole screen makes you think it's a Dragon Quest IV related thing, but it's just not. Like, Phase Tree's not even in that game. So
Yeah, he's just a random encounter in DQ2.
yeah. This is fine. I feel like my max HP on my healer's a little low, but I hit level 10 on it, so that's right. I actually kind of forgot that I needed to get level 10 on the healer too, but it worked out, so that's good. It usually happens around the same time, but I specifically should have been looking for it. Okay, so this is the first arena where things get a little bit dicey, right? We kind of need things to go our way, and it's not uncommon to have to try this a few times, specifically the last encounter, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Inframore, you're going to see, is like really, really powerful for this part, but the final fight here is a little dangerous. So
This is also, I don't know if viewers are noticing that this is not in the arena you can't give specific commands. You have to just use charge, mix, cautious, or attack, and you can't use items.
Yeah, the command skill turns into use no skill. So
Yeah, use no special skill, so just attack. Yeah, so you kind of have to rely on tactics. And it can get a little messy, especially when it becomes like, if you beat the second round and, your people are at pretty low HP and you go into the final round, that's something that you have to consider pretty much every time.
for sure, it's going to be relevant right here. The Mad Gopher in the middle, he can charge up, and then he can use a skill called Bird Blow, which does extra damage to birds, and we have 2 birds on our team, so a little scary.
Not good.
But we'll see how it goes. Inframore is really good in this fight, but that was a really low damage roll on the left one. It's really the Mad Gopher I'm most concerned about, so Medusa eyes don't really do much.
Got a 51 damage roll on Mad Gopher, so I think he's okay.
Yeah.
yeah, the wind spells in the Dragon Quest series are notorious for having huge damage ranges. Like the minimum roll will be like half of the maximum possible damage, sometimes even lower.
Yeah, totally. Compared to other spells, they're pretty consistent within a range, but yeah, wind spells, what Countess said is right. It's also that it has a fairly low MP cost relatively. All right, here we go. So we need, we just need to not get Beanie all blown up. So our middle character is the most important one to manage its HP. Really high damage rolls on the left too, which is good. We took a hit immediately. We could get healed. Beanie is dead, and we are restarting. And that is just it. Yeah. Unfortunately, it just got double targeted. The monsters, those enemy monsters, the Mad Cats and the Rogue Knight in the middle, they have some other actions. They can go for a leg sweep. The Rogue Knight in the middle can heal. So for them to all specifically take 3 physicals and 2 of them hit the center, you saw that like my HP going in was like near max, but that threshold was like I died by 3. So that's just how it goes sometimes, but it's all good.
Now, the Evil Knight also has a nasty ability called Evil Slash, which is, I don't know the exact percentage in this game, but roughly a 1/3 chance of just getting a critical hit on anybody on the team, and otherwise it misses, but that'll be a one-shot kill for anyone on the team right now.
Yeah.
And I've lost count of how many times that I've seen that Rogue Knight Evil Slash 3 times and hit 3 times, and the fight's just gone.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, Evil Slash is one of the scariest skills for the very final fight of the game, too. So it's going to be a consistent thorn on our side. But yeah, these first 2 fights are really not too bad. It's just about the Mad Gopher in the second fight. But this is pretty common. I wouldn't say that we're at the part where things get volatile yet, because usually you get through this. That feels pretty unlucky to get double targeted in the middle slot. But you're starting to see that like the arena encounters start to scale up fairly quickly, and then once you get past the halfway point in the game, after we get the battle wrecks, it like really starts to expect a lot out of you. You were feeling that when you played, right, Countdown, recently? The game like
Oh
started to
yeah.
scale up.
It's just you forget when you don't play for a while how strong it expects you to be, and it tries to give you supplemental things like foreign masters to breed with in the arena and around Great Tree, but you really have to put in the effort if you want to keep climbing the class tree in the arena.
Yeah.
I think it's designed so that you play.
That sucks. I got hit by sap and then Burblow. That's unfortunate.
It's designed such that you are supposed to do the arena like across the entire game.
Yeah.
Instead of just only hitting a few classes and skipping the rest.
Yeah, and Countess was talking about the game flow a little bit before, but just to kind of reiterate, the general idea is that you clear arena classes in this game that sequentially get stronger, and then by doing that, you get access to more dungeons, more gates that give you the ability to fight stronger monsters, to catch more monsters, to level up more, and then to also get more powerful randomized drops off the ground because they kind of scale up over the course of the game. So, you just kind of do the arena, you go do the next gates, you kind of power up a little bit more, breed, and rinse and repeat. So,
Yeah, if you tried to skip gates casually, you may not even have the money to do so because how quickly it ramps up. It goes like 10, 50, 100, 500, then
yeah, I
like
think
multiply by 5, multiply by 2, all the way down.
yeah. And eventually we have to raise 10,000 gold in order to
For the S-Class,
Yeah,
the
S-Class.
final arena.
So hopefully we make it through this part of the run. It's usually okay. Don't.
Whoa!
Don't do that.
Yeah, we'll see. Our Mad Pecker missed the physical in the last fight, which definitely let the Mad Gopher survive. Because like the AI will typically go for Inframore, but it might go for a physical attack if it thinks that it can knock it out, which is kind of counterintuitive because it has a chance to miss, and Inframore is going to guarantee it.
Yep.
So that's like one of the many AI quirks we're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of this run, like even just as important as execution is just the routing of this run, just because of how the AI works. Like there are a lot of skills that you do not want your monsters to learn because you do not want them using them in battle.
Oh yeah.
Like a huge example is the slow all ability that lowers agility. I feel like a monster will always use that on mixed if you've got it, and you don't want that most of the time. You want to lower their defense power or stun them or something else.
Yeah. This is one of the rare instances where I'm getting attacked and I'm trying to... Okay, so I miss and then we heal. Please stop attacking me. Please stop attacking me. Okay, we're back. Let's try to heal. I just need you to hit somebody else. I need you to just not hit me 4 times in a row. Is that such a problem? I'm missing... Yeah, because...
Oh,
Are you serious?
It would be nice if we use Inframore, but yeah, we're stuck in this AI loop where it wants to go physical because it's almost dead, but it won't hit because we got hit by Surround. Okay, yeah. But now we're entering the next fight with really low HP, so it's like we might be right back to resetting.
Yeah, it's
so.
really sketchy because these cats are fast, and I believe they also have the
Yeah.
ability that makes them go first.
Yeah, Squall hit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to defend with them. I'll just go for it. And if we restart, we'll just go back in. I think you can get into trouble by like trying to preserve certain things. They didn't go for it, which is good. So let's see if we get healed. Okay. That's... yeah, my healer got stunned. So this is looking kind of rough. We'll see. Healer, you want to go? Come on. Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
If we can get one more Inframore off, we'll be okay. It's scary. Okay, come on. Good.
Nice.
Oh,
and the heal.
I'm surprised the healer healed the Mad Pecker.
Nice. All right.
All right, good. That's definitely one of the early checkpoints that's scary. So it's great. Very good.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
2 resets over that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's okay. Yeah, definitely. We have much harder arena fights coming up.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, as you can see, like not being able to tell your monsters directly what to do is one of the hardest parts of this game of just trying to get through it consistently. You know, we have to deal with all the item placements and everything being kind of random, but that one in particular is really scary. Okay, actually, I should have gone up through the farm, but we're going to take advantage of foreign master breeding now, which is really, really nice. So before we had to get the Draki, needed it to be female. The Mad Knight that we got as a boss recruit is guaranteed to be male. Now, when we do this, when we have a monster, so in this case, it's going to be the healer is always male, but it doesn't matter because when you breed with a foreign trainer's monster, the game doesn't care or check what the gender of your monster is, so it just allows it to go through, which is really, really nice for routing. It just makes it super easy for us to deal with. We had to play a game of rock, crab, babble instead of rock, paper, scissors, so pretty good at it, you know.
It's a crag
you wanna play?
crab.
I'm in.
We can play it later.
How hard could it be?
Yeah. Okay, I gotta be careful again. So it's specifically the healer. They don't tell you what it's going to turn into, but it's Mick and the healer. That's right. Yeah. Just being careful, because again, this is like you save and that's it.
This sheet that you printed out for me says breed with Mick after D class.
Perfect.
So if you're wrong, it's on you, buddy.
That's right. Yeah, provide a little infographic, my favorites. Cool. And we're gonna do the same with the piggy with Tato in the bottom right here. But yeah, I can give it to the host for a little bit.
Absolutely. I have a couple of donations I can read off here. We have $10 from Keanu. Good luck, CT, with the game that clearly inspired the entire Pokemon series.
That's right.
And shout outs to the entire DQ community who have always been so supportive of any and all who wish to join.
Definitely. Thank you.
We also have $50 from Hactical. Good luck, Tonic, and here's hoping for some tiny metal pickups.
Yeah, thank you.
And finally, I would like to read off this one, $25 from K-Dude. Thank you to Nami and those there in the room. We all know someone who is struggling or could be themselves, and there's no shame in asking for help.
Thank you.
Thanks, K dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Quest V had this similar recruitment mechanic, and it came out before Pokemon, so I'm just saying.
Just saying. All right, cool. So we're getting ready for the Gate of Anger, which is like the first major gate boss that's actually threatening. And we're going to have 3 breeded monsters now, so we're definitely starting to get much stronger ourselves, but we definitely, we got to be careful about this gate entirely. So I'm going to resource up, get as much as I can. I don't think I'm going to have enough. I have like barely just not enough for a beast tail because I want to make sure I have enough herbs. I don't know. Yeah, the problem here is that I need, even though it only costs 400, I need money in order to hatch the eggs, and there's a potential. So I need now that the 2 monsters I'm about to hatch are a rock slime and a blizzardi, and I need them to be opposite genders because they are going to breed together. So I can go check that now, and there's a station here. This bard allows you to check. So let's do it real quick. See what we got. I really like this bard's dialogue. It's very sassy. Moo sassy. Okay. Rock slime being male is good because it's almost always Blizzardi's female. I actually don't really know why that is, but it almost always is. So, yeah, they'll be able to breed together, which is how we were going to make our first whip bird, but we'll get into that soon. So, I'm just going to save now, just to be careful. Because when you hatch eggs, it doesn't force you to save. It's just when you breed the monster. But yeah. Rock slime, Blizzardi, opposite genders, that's right.
Nice. Yeah. Any Rainhawk fans?
Oh yeah. Rainhawk is another one of those monsters that debuted in this game, but then shows up in 7.
Yeah.
It also has it's one of those 100 XP to level 2. Its growth is tough.
That's right, Mega Magic. We're gonna be seeing Mega Magic later.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, no, it's a big part of the run.
Yeah.
All right, and this one, just like last run, this one is for the fellas. All right, we are off to the Gate of Anger. We have a lot of herbs. I have an emergency warp wing if I need it. and we are going to both try to take out Battle Rex, which is the upcoming boss, and then also, make sure that we get to certain level thresholds. And this is like the D-class fight that we did is like kind of hard, but Gate of Anger is definitely like, one power level up more than you're used to at this point. And Battle Rex has 1,000 HP, and it requires like a specific strategy to kind of tackle her, because she typically just uses level 2 breath attack, and it's pretty scary. So
it's pretty bold of you to go into this gate with 2 level 1 monsters and a 54 HP Mad Pecker.
yeah, definitely. But the Inframore spell that we were talking about before is also super valuable early on here too. And the level 1s, as long as you can live pretty much one encounter, we can make it through. So I'm going to set those 2 to cautious now so that they defend. This enemy in particular is like very not scary, except for
That.
the fact that he can use he can use the dodge skill that I was talking about before, where he can retarget an incoming attack to one of your allies or any of its own allies. So, but yeah, getting one fight down just means you get a little bit of levels. And like, honestly, even though this is kind of a difficulty increase, part of the smart breeding that we're doing means that we we hit it at the right time, that we're also starting to become quite strong too. So once you get access in this game to a few large AoE attacks like Inframore, we're going to see Ice Air pretty soon, which is a level 2 Ice Breath attack. You can start clearing random encounters really efficiently. So it's part of the routing. And I think, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the 2 level 1 monsters that you had, or Rock Slime and Blizzardi, neither of those, we talked about, just breeding family versus family spits out the same monster. Well, both Rock Slime and Blizzardi require specific parents. It's not something that you can just make family to family. So like in this case, you needed to breed like with an Iceman to get
That's
Blizzardi
right.
to come out. So they're a little, I think because of that too, by virtue of that, they're like a tier above.
Yeah, for sure. Their stats are pretty good. They learn nice skills. And Countess, you want to talk about skill inheritance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so each monster type in this game has 3 skills that it will learn naturally, but when you breed 2 monsters together, the child will be able to learn any skill that the parents would have learned naturally, plus any skill that they had at the time of breeding. So, and you can learn up to 8 skills total, so it's actually possible that, I'm sure we'll see soon, you'll learn like a 9th skill and have to throw one away. But like potentially the parents could each have 8 skills plus the 3 they learn naturally, and then a child could learn up to 25 skills as it levels up.
Yep.
But yeah, big part of the breeding route is also to get specific skills as we prepare for the later fights.
Show me tiny metal. No. Anytime we see a gold drop, there's a 1% chance overall that could be a tiny metal, which is a waste of space, but
Really? 1% for the tiny metal, really?
Yeah.
You never knew
On
that.
every single gate, there's a 1% overall. Like any item has a 1% chance of being a
I
tiny
see.
metal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what Countess was saying about the skill inheritance, it's one of the more complex parts of the run. Countess was also saying before that you don't want your monster learning skills that you don't want it to use when you use the tactics. So we have to like forcibly forget certain spells so that it doesn't do that.
And we might even hang on to skills that the AI tends to not use
exactly.
just to hold space. Yeah, here's our first Wandering Master.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot to talk about Wandering Masters coming up soon. But we are actually strong enough to take this guy out. They're typically not too dangerous, but you can't, like when we had Draki and Picky before, if we saw one of these guys, they would definitely be too strong for us. But right now we are much higher power level. The general gist of how it works is that these foreign trainers will have, Horrorbook.
That's big money.
That sells for 3,750 or 5,000. So we just hit our windfall and we're just like, good. That's so good.
Ooh, okay.
It's really, really good to get that. That's very lucky. So.
You gonna tell me there's no hubris still? You're gonna tell me that still?
With a straight face.
Yeah, we'll see. When I start getting rolled later.
I don't believe it, man.
I don't think we've explained like the exact numbers for the special shops we keep mentioning, but anytime you find a shop inside a Traveler's Gate, all items you sell will sell for 100% of the value that you would purchase them for. But if you go back to Great Tree, most items sell for 75% of the purchase price, and staves sell for 10%. So that's why we want to sell staves specifically in these gates.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be doing strategies later where we're forcing a merchant to show up to give us a lot of meat. And you want to, if you can, go to the special shop to get the most amount of money out of it.
Yep.
We're going to be, so yeah, again, just to reiterate, like you see that I'm on floor 5 out of 10. Every time I go to a multiple of 3, I have a chance of that being a special floor. So I'm always kind of like looking out for that. So yeah, we have both 6 and 9 to look out for to be a special floor. And again, like it lets you save the game too. So it's like very, very beneficial to see them.
Is there any hidden mechanic to it being the item being a chest versus the item on the ground, other than they wanted to introduce the possibility of mimics?
Yeah, for sure. Like later on, they will have a chance of being mimics, but I've actually done quite a bit of like assembly level debugging of this game, and for all intents and purposes, it is just the item that it is. Just represented with a different icon, right?
I see.
So it's just like a love water that is just looks like it's not, right? So
That you can't walk over until you interact with it.
yeah, for sure. All right. How are we doing? We have 10 herbs. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm ready for the boss. You want to have around 12 healing, and herbs are sufficient enough. And we definitely have that right now. So
And the Horror Burger King.
and the harbor. Okay, that's right. So yeah, we're just crawling through. I have to hit level 14 by the time I make it to Battle Rex, but in Battle Rex's arena is there's a handful of Dragon Kid fights that give really good EXP. But something I guess we didn't talk about yet is the run chance in this game is pretty awful, and it's also really slow to do it. So as much as we can avoid it, we don't run from battle. So we fight pretty much everything.
And talk about this gate a little bit. This is kind of the first gate that has story significance, where after we finished that D-class arena fight, somebody came up to us and said, hey, the king wants to talk to you. And then the king tells us that monsters have been pouring out of the Gate of Anger, and we need to go in and figure out what's going on and stop it. And basically, this is an interruption in the game to try to sell you Dragon Quest VI, which came out right at the same time. So we're going to go fight the Battle Rex, which is a significant boss fight in Dragon Quest VI.
That's right.
And be visited by
A mysterious character.
a mysterious character, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And sadly, we didn't get either 5 or 6 in the West, so if you played this game growing up, you'd be like, I have no idea what any of this means,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah,
That was me.
yeah. Sometimes I hear the DQ6 Overworld song and think about DQM before DQ6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
I know. I knew all of those tracks before I had ever played 6 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you can start to see that these floors are becoming larger, a little bit beefier. Pretty soon, we're going to have a beast tail, which is going to allow us to much more efficiently navigate around. But for the time being, we kind of have to just check everything and, yeah. So, general like pace of the run, we're not going super fast. Getting the Draki right away was really good. Took me a little bit of time to get through that D class. But the fact that we have this horror book plus this wind staff on hand,
Yeah.
I can just I probably will just sell the book for a discounted amount and take the 3,750, because then I can use that money to basically get more money, right? And I don't want to waste too much time trying to spawn a shop just for that, but we'll see. It kind of depends on how it shakes out. This is a particularly really long floor that we're going through right now, but it happens. Another reason why this is a very random game, you know?
Yeah. Like,
You could just go to the next floor right away, or you could be looking for a bit. So.
You could spawn one on the tile next to the hole.
Yeah, exactly. That happened before, right?
and I don't think we've seen many of these, but there are a lot of floor tile sets where like the rooms are just much larger, and like they don't look quite as mazy like this, where there's small connections to each side of the screen and you have to walk in this big circle to get around. And so just depending on the tile set you find can save you a lot of time walking through a floor.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So we are, it's kind of Let's Play territory, you know? We're just chilling.
If it's a mapper,
Let's play. Like, let me know if you want me to take over. at any
okay,
time.
yeah, cool, yeah. But yeah, while we crawl to the bottom of this gate, we can hand it over to the host for a little bit.
Absolutely. I have $50 from Stolteheim, donating in honor of MS Kane, who sadly passed away last year. He'll always live on in our hearts and minds here at RPG Limit Break. I'd like to take a minute to talk about some of our sponsors. Tantra Merch has exclusive RPG Limit Break.
Sorry, keep going.
I missed whatever happened. Exclusive RPG Limit Break and Tantra merch is now live. Shop the RPG Limit Break collection featuring shirts, blankets, tote bag, and much more. And what's better, Tantra merch will donate up to $5 per item sold to the National Alliance on Mental Illness and its mission. Grab your gear now at tantramerch.com/RPG Limit Break. And as well, we are also sponsored by Dragon Roast Coffee. Dragon Roast Coffee is a small, passionate team of coffee roasters that are dedicated to making coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Visit their website at www.dragonroast.coffee and enter the promo code RPGLB25 at checkout for 10% off your order. In addition to their coffee, you can also purchase an exclusive dual-insulated RPG Limit Break tumbler, available only for this event. And the best part is that for all purchases made using the promo code, Dragon Roast will donate a portion of the proceeds to NAMI. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and fuel your adventure with Dragon Roast Coffee today.
All right, so we managed to pick up a lava staff, which is, again, very lucky. We can sell that for 2,000. So we have 2,000, 1,500, and 5,000 if I decide to go to a special shop. And at this point, now that I have 2 stabs and that book, I probably am going to do that. Just specifically force the shop floor to show up. It didn't show up on this gate on the way down, but it's all good. And this is what TheCowness was talking about. We are in Dragon Quest VI territory. Which again, like this whole game is sort of based off of Dragon Quest VI with Terry and everything. So the major gates like this, we're here. So we hit our level 14 on Blizzardi, which was we needed it to learn Strong D, and it did. So now we are going to just take out one of these, but you can farm these guys for quite a bit of EXP if you need to.
Are we worried about 7 MP on Blizzardi?
No, it's a little suboptimal because I want to use defense on it. Sorry, I want to use the spell defense with Blizzardi.
Right.
But it typically takes 1 action. I actually don't know how much it costs. I think it might be 4, but I'm going to try to use it, and the game will stop me if I can't. But my Mad Pecker also has defense, so at worst it's going to take 2 turns to do it. So, yep, this is the first boss. I'm going to try to focus here. 1,000 HP, and it'll try to land defense, and then I just got to keep on top of healing and make sure we don't die. Go for defense, keep you on cautious always, and then defense, yeah, not enough MP. So in this case, I'm just going to set it to charge, and yeah, we're just going to keep up with healing after this. So yeah, you'll see we just do, we take a lot of damage from Blaze Air.
Yeah, typically, unless your team has a lot of fire resistance, then she's just going to use Blaze Air every single turn until she runs out of magic, which takes like 10 turns.
Yeah, definitely. So in this case, I have just enough HP to like guarantee that I'm going to live, so I'm going to cast defense 1 more time, and then now you can only cast defense twice. So pretty good turn order there. We set you to charge, and then we back out, and then we just keep healing. So yeah, the rock slime in the middle. Oh, nice. Big crit. Big crit. The rock slime in the middle has heal more, so hopefully it goes after the boss. This is a little sketchy for KVFM over there, but we'll see. I don't think I've seen more than 37, unless right now. Okay, 21. We're good.
He already has strong D, right? Is it really a big deal if he dies in this fight?
Oh yeah, no. You don't get any EXP from these fights, so it's all good. So this is a case where I need to specifically defend and make sure that I stay alive. So I'm going to hope that Beanie heals. I guess I'll play even. Yeah, I set them to cautious. Yeah, actually Beanie did not defend, so that was actually kind of really scary. But we're good. Yeah, it's all good.
We're chilling.
You can. It's a classic. All of us Dragon Quest runners know about how turn order is sort of just completely made up, and it would be really nice if Rock Slime consistently went last, but unfortunately it doesn't do that. So if it like goes last on a turn and the next turn goes first, then you kind of double up on taking damage. So, but we got through that. So
You're not getting optimal healing if that happens.
yeah, definitely.
The problem.
All right, just being careful. Looking good though. We got a crit before, which is actually pretty nice. All right, that's it. Very good, very good.
Nice.
All right.
All right, cool. I think I'm just going to keep the name Rex. Kind of like it. And then we will put the Mad Pecker back. And then we are through like the halfway point of the game. Yeah. So
Nice.
like our time's okay. We're not going that slow, but it can definitely be faster. But the amount of money that we got, like we're good. It's worth the time investment basically. Because the alternative is that you get later into the game and you kind of struggle for money. You have to do this big loop that you're going to see pretty soon to get more. But for us to be able to start with what is going to soon be a lot of money, it's going to be really good. So I think my first priority before probably doing anything is going to be to force a shop floor so that I can clear out my inventory and sell everything. And then we'll get into basically the second half of this game. It's just part of what I wanted to convey at the very start of this about volatility and kind of giving what the game gives you, or working with what the game gives you. It's all random, right? Like I maybe would not have these stabs or book to work with to sell, and you'd be like really scraping by, and absolutely, like anybody who's run this game knows that happens. In this case, it's pretty fortunate, right? Overall, it's like a little bit on the slower side, but I'll absolutely take entering the second half with the potential for a lot of money. So I need to see how much money I have on hand right now. I don't think it's very much. So I think ordinarily I would breed the rock slime and the whipbird together right now. But I'm going to probably hold off and just try to make sure that I get this shop floor. Yeah, 508. I think let's just get our bookmarks and we're just going to go force the shop floor. I'm trying to think. Yeah, this is the point in the run where, like you have like a set number of actions that you're going to do to advance generally, getting ready for S-Class, which is like the next major barrier that we need to break through. And we're going to power up and get some whippers to do it. But the way that you get there is really dependent on what the game has given you so far for your resources. So I guess I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit. It's not a big deviation, but basically I'm going to make the whipbird now, and then I'm going to raise it a few levels, and then while we're doing that, we're going to hit the shop floor. So it's just tough. Like this is the kind of thing where I've done a lot of practice of how I was going to approach this run, and it kind of like, even for your standard any percent runs, you kind of have to work with what they give you, and there's a lot of flexibility. So it's definitely a tough run to perform for a marathon or something. I mean, it's been going really well so far. I've been like fairly lucky on most stuff, but we're going to see pretty soon that things start to ramp up quickly. And unless we have a game plan, we can start to really bleed some time. All right. So let me just make sure that we're doing this right. We've got KVFM, FBM, my favorite, whipbird. So this is our first whipbird, which is good. Yes. Again, I got to be really careful about breeding.
So just to clarify, this is not the one we are naming. This is a different whipbird?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely worth asking.
Okay.
Yep. It's going to be probably like an hour from now or so for that final whipbird, but I'll definitely let you know. We're going to be making another whipbird, so it's not yet.
Are all of those name incentives closing at the same time, or?
They're a little staggered, yeah.
Okay.
But I can definitely give you a heads up.
Yeah, so still have plenty of time to get in some donations for names on those last 3 monsters, but as you heard, you do have limited time.
Yep. All right. We're going to slowly work our way up towards limit break. We only have so many characters to work with, so here we go. All right. The whipbird. Countess, you want to give us a rundown about whipbird?
Yeah, so if anyone saw the Dragon War Monsters 2 race a couple events ago, the reason we were using a Grizzly was because it has really high attack power at early levels, and this Whipbird's going to have the same HP as those Grizzlies had attack power. So we're going to see like all the way up to level 16, you're going to get pretty much over 10 HP per level. So you've been seeing like, you know, the highest HP we had a second ago was 120. This Whipbird will probably have that after the first fight and just continue to climb from there. And yeah, it's a very kind of late stage of the bird family. So that's why we're going to get a couple of them and then even breed 2 of them together so that we start with a Whipbird that has over 100 HP to start and then get an even stronger, more durable monster for the final battles.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see when we go through both the final, S-Class, which is like the second to last arena, and then the final tournament, you kind of get hard checked on how much your max HP is. Like, it really needs to be high in order to tank some of that stuff. So Whipbird is exactly for this. All right. We're going to force this shop floor, which means, based on what we were saying before, it's about a 25% chance every time I go in. So I'm checking multiple of 3 for the floor that I'm looking for the special floor. So I'm going from 2 to 3, 25% chance overall. So it's 50% chance for a special floor and then 50%. I went to this gate specifically, the Talisman gate, because it has the highest chance of the shop floor, which is 50%. So it's 50% and then 50%. And here it is. So here we go. Very good. That was actually pretty good. And then now we're going to clear all this stuff out, and it's money-making time. Look at that. You love to see it. Honestly, like, for how scary some parts of this run could be, to be at this point, to be able to clear all that stuff out is really, really good. So that's great. Good.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I jump in here for a
No,
moment?
absolutely. Great time for it.
It is a great time for it considering what you just sold there. I just want to shout out this amazing $800 anonymous donation with no comment, but thank you very much for your generous donation to Nami.
That's so awesome. Thank you.
I just want to point out, we are not all that far away from $60,000. It is entirely possible that we could hit it during this run if you want to push for it, chat. I believe in you.
Let's see it.
We are currently at 57,500, so we're not that far away.
Cool. All right. I'm going to pivot back, actually. So there's a vault in this game that we're going to see some use with some of our meats later. But I'm going to put this life acorn away. Life acorn is like nice to have. It's not that big of a deal, but I might as well just do it because we are going to be coming here fairly soon to deposit. And we are setting up the first merchant loop. So we haven't really been talking about foreign trainers all that much, right? So we fought one. We saw the warrior guy that was wandering around, and he's the one who gave us the very lucky book that we got, which is great. But now we're going to be doing some special techniques to force a particular kind of particular kind of foreign master to show up. So we have a lot to talk about because it's kind of complicated, but it's very, very powerful if you can use it to your advantage. Actually, sorry. Let me just double check my inventory. I got 1. I want to specifically keep my inventory as light as possible, which is why I sorry, I'm kind of pivoting around because I can actually, in this case, which is not always the case, I can use this warp wing to go top to save me some time, and then now I'm going to go to the farm gate and do some training. It's a mouthful.
You don't really want Beast Tail for this, do you?
Not yet, but soon I will. Specifically, I want to keep my inventory as light, so that Beast Tail slot I don't really need. It is like, there's a chance of me wandering around, but the reason that this gate is actually kind of nice is that this and the Coliseum gate that we're going to do some training in soon too, has the highest chance of having 4 screen floors, right? This actually might be one of them. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, 3 or 4. So in this case, we are going to do our first loop. And we have a lot to talk about to get there. But for now, just so you're aware, like what I'm doing, I'm specifically walking back and forth for a number of steps, and I'll explain that in a second. But like overall priorities and goals right now is to make a lot of money and to be able to afford that 10,000 ticket for the S-Class arena. So we need to just like resource up in order to do that. The secondary goal is to also just be able to functionally beat that arena fight. So we're going to be training up 2 Whipbirds to be able to do that. And what we're doing right now is getting ready for C-Class, which is going to be part of our overall breeding strategy. So I'm going to specifically just get our Whipbird, who is the first monster in our party now, up to level 10 or 11 to learn Ice Air. We have a lot of random mechanics to talk about, but I'll try to stay focused. So we are trying to get to C class so that we can open up some breeding, and then that'll allow us to like chain into 2 whipbirds, right? So yeah, I think it's probably a good time to tackle talking about foreign trainers, right? So foreign trainers in this game will show up either at a very low % chance randomly, like the warrior that we saw before. They're not super uncommon when you're like just playing the game, you'll see them around, but every individual floor doesn't have a very high chance of seeing them. And those are the normal foreign trainers. Then there are 4 types of special trainers. And we'll just talk about the one that we care about right now, and we'll explain some of the others later. But what we're trying to do right now is spawn the merchant, okay? So the way the merchant spawn works is we want the merchant to... let me try again. In order to spawn the merchant, we need to walk 200 steps without picking up an item on the floor that we're on. As I say that, remember I was telling you that we have to check how many items we have? I actually don't think I did that, so we got to do that real quick.
Yeah, you have to have at least 2.
Yes. I actually don't think that's the case on this one. But
It
it's
looks
okay.
like a small floor.
Yeah. But the general idea is that you walk 200 steps without picking up an item, and that sets an internal flag that when you go to the next floor, there's a 50% chance of that floor having a merchant. So yeah, exactly. So not ideal, but I can just crawl through this floor, and either on the 3rd or 4th floor, I can do this. This is part of like some speedrun strategy stuff. But yeah, you'll see what the merchant does when we spawn them. But for now, this is like what we're trying to do. And I make a dip into this gate because the power level is pretty low. But yeah, we've already hit level 11, and I have Ice Air, so I don't actually need to fight anything during this visit. So we're good. I don't specifically want to try to get the merchant on this floor because we're going to a multiple of 3, which means there's a 50% chance of it being a special floor, which definitely means that the merchant won't show up. So let's see what this floor looks like. Yeah, this exactly. Because if I tried to spawn him on the previous one and then I landed in here, it would be a complete waste, right? Yeah. It only lasts for 1 floor, the next floor that you're going to. So
yeah, this is a special floor if that's not clear. This is a static kind of Zelda Lost Woods style maze where there's only like 3 screens that you bounce around between.
Yep.
A bunch of different exits, but the traveler's gate is in the same spot every time.
Yep. All right, do some healing. Nothing's really too dangerous now, but we hit our levels that we needed. We just needed the Whipper to get to level 11 to learn Ice Hair for the next fight. All right, so we got 1 item. We got 2 items. So
we're in business.
We're going to do it. So we are going to now do our strat of using Repellent. So Repellent is like the repel spell from Dragon Quest games, right? Just means that you don't get into encounters. Thankfully, in this game, there's no level check at all, so you can just use Repellent. It only lasts for 1 floor, but it guarantees while you're on that floor that you don't get into random fights. So, really good.
Is it going to be an issue that you've now checked every screen?
Not this one, because there aren't 16, right?
Gotcha.
But you're right. We're going to talk about the
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I just want to make sure you're considering it.
That's good.
And it can be kind of obnoxious counting the 200 steps here, but there's one trick that we could use here is that when you take 10 steps, you gain 1 MP. So actually, when that Whipbird hits 36 MP, we know that we've taken enough steps. You had 15 when you hit the floor.
Sounds good. I'll take your word for it. And if not, then I'll blame it all on you. So.
All right. Well, you put me in charge of counting.
I did, yeah, I know, because these 2 can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I proved last round I'm terrible at math, so.
What do you mean you got all the math problems right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, 3 times 0.
Yeah, 3 times 0, 9 times 3. I feel like a big boy today.
I'm terrible at counting too. That's why I use the MP trick. So
yeah, I didn't know about that. That's great.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was every 10 steps.
It's really good,
20.
but it's contingent upon you spending enough MP to like be able to recover that much. But it is really good. So I'll go to 37 just to be super sure, because you can waste a lot of time if you aren't really sure. But I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be like super lazy, and like if there's a damage tile on the floor, I'll just step on it and cast heal till I've spent 20 magic.
Yeah.
It wastes time, but I don't like counting. So
You really want to have confidence that you hit 200 steps before you do all of this.
Yeah.
Because it can be really slow. So what happens now is there's a 50% chance, like I was saying, that the merchant shows up. And if you aren't confident that you had 200 steps, it might be that you didn't hit 200 steps and you didn't spawn the merchant. So you're just wasting your time by wandering around.
There
But
he is.
there's my man. So we're going to use a bookmark. And we want as many open inventory slots as we can get. And then we're going to spawn this fight. The power level is definitely quite low here, so not very concerned about it.
Oh man, that Slimeborg,
Your favorite.
the homie.
What game is this guy from?
I don't ask me, man.
Take a guess.
It's 2.
6.
Okay.
All right, show me the meats. That is awful.
That is so terrible.
nothing but jerky.
We're looking for mostly sirloin and a handful of ribs, and that was like horrible.
That was
right?
like 8 beef jerkies.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So in this case, we have the item called the bookmark, which lets us save. I guess we didn't talk about that before, but ordinarily you can't save in a gate, but the game gives you this item called bookmark, which lets you basically save wherever you want. And it's incredibly helpful for these kind of strategies because I can just re-roll this fight until I get a decent outcome. I'm looking for like 3 or 4, right? Nothing crazy. But sirloin. Oh, that's
That was-
6.
yeah.
Way better. So really good. So now that I'm on a multiple of 5, the idea is that I go into a multiple, sorry, not multiple of 5. I'm on the floor number 5, going to a multiple of 3, 6, which has a chance of a special floor, and now I want to spawn the shop so that I can sell all of the meat that I just got at a high value. So this is what I'm talking about when we do the loop, right? So this is it's slightly lower than 25% chance. I think it's 15. So we might be here for a minute trying to get this shop, or we just get it first try.
Get it first
so
try.
that's cool.
All right.
Pretty good. 7, that's a lot. To the point where I might actually save some
I
of
was going to
these.
say maybe keep 2.
Yeah, because I need 4 for the end game, but I do want enough money to keep rolling after S-Class, but we're basically good on money for now, so really good. So we can get rid of the bad meat. Sorry, Big. I know
You don't
That
want
means
to buy
your
some
favorite.
antidotes and
I'm good. Yeah, so we're going to just go do C-Class now. So this is what I was saying about like kind of flexible routing, right? Usually you don't have this much windfall. So I'm like kind of going a little bit slow on time relatively, but I have way more money than I usually do at this point in the game. So what it means is that I can spend more time specifically grinding up my monsters to a level that's going to help me get through these gates and less time having to worry about resource management, right? Entering C-Class with 14,500 is like not common. And I've done quite a bit of practice and I've been running this game for a very long time and it's not common. Would you agree? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But like this is a big thing in Dragon Quest speedrunning in general. Like I'm sure this has come up in some of the other runs this week, but just the fact that the RNG that you're dealt in Dragon Quest doesn't just, gain or lose you time, it also affects your decision making because now that we've got all this money, we don't need to focus on getting money later on. We can focus on getting XP and other things and it'll equate to time saves later in the run.
That's right. Yeah, and like Cowness was saying before, the whippers that we're getting are 5 EXP to level 2, which is the second fastest overall growth curve. Technically, there's variance within it, but it's either 2 EXP, 5, 10, or 100, and 100 takes forever to level up. But 5 EXP is still pretty good. It's pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure we even get to a high enough level for
I don't
the
think
curves
so.
to diverge within the starting.
I think you're right. All right, so Rogue Knight is back, but he is much less threatening this time around.
flanked by 2
Yeah.
healers.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty classic formation you see in all the Dragon Quest
Yeah.
games. He'll show up with a bunch of healers.
For sure.
They also tend to call for help for healers in other games.
Yes. Where the Rogue Knight will call for help and then you're surrounded by 8 healers.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Third fight. Sometimes in some of the routing I had done, I hadn't yet made the whipper, so this fight was actually a little bit scary. But if you do what I just did and make the whipper now, it's basically free.
This
So,
guy doesn't have rock throw, does he?
he does not have rock throw.
Not high enough level.
He has strong D.
Strong D.
Yep. But yeah, after this, we're going to. Sorry, I guess I should back up. So, our overall goal is to specifically make S-Class happen, which requires us to power up our whippers, and like we have to just be prepared for it, and it's very, very difficult. It's like the first like really, really tough wall of the game, right? Everything up until this point, like battle racks and stuff, you have to be prepared for. But usually come in with a game plan, you'll be okay. But S-Class is like a different territory entirely, so we have to really be ready for it. But the reason we're doing C-Class right now isn't to like sequentially unlock gates. It's specifically to defeat the Tato master that we just fought, so that we unlock his Eider as a breed that we can combine with our Mad Pecker now, and that's going to create a monster called the Duck Kite. So we're going to do that right now.
I always have a strange nostalgia seeing the box slime. I'm pretty sure he was one of the very first monsters I bred in my first playthrough.
Oh yeah. All right, Mad Pecker. This is right. I make Duck Kite. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With confidence. Have confidence.
You can technically soft reset during this little cutscene and it saves a couple frames, but then you're missing out on more Starry Night Shrine theme.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
So I decided to let it rip for this run for the fans.
Shrine of the Starry Night theme, of course. Incredible.
Yep.
Okay, so at this point we are going to do another loop. We're going to do one more merchant loop, and it probably is going to be enough for us. There's a chance we have to do two, but one more. If we get 2 sirloin and we have a surplus of about 6,000 money, we're going to be like fine for the rest of the game. So we're going to set it up right now. I'm going to sell the rest of the meat that I have. Or I guess did I sell everything? I guess I should have. It's not a big deal, but I should have sold this at the special shop. But I was so excited about the 7 sirloin in hand. Good. But yeah, it's 3 bookmark, 1 warp wing, 2 repellents. Clear out your inventory and then fill up. That's the idea. I think I have an herb on hand. Yeah. Good. And yeah, you can see that it like still costs you some money to do this whole setup, so that's why you can't get too complacent. And yeah, we're off to hatch our new duck kite. So duck kite is not a particularly impressive monster, but there's 2 benefits to it. One is that it will level up very fast. It has that 2 EXP curve, so it's like super, super quick to level up. And then the main reason that we go the duck kite route is to get the skill called Lure Dance, and it's gonna bail us out. And it's one of the most important skills for the safety part of this run. We can talk about route divergences in a little bit, because there's a lot of different routing stuff you can do for this game. But oops, that is not. Yeah, we're gonna do LB, so we have RPG and LB next to each other.
Nice.
All right. And now we're gonna deposit Rex. So Rex is like okay. I wouldn't say it's great, but she's all right. But we don't want her in the party because she's gonna basically hog EXP. There are some strats you can do to level up the Rex to 21 so that it can learn Scorching. But not in this case. I'm going to play a little risky. So usually I go to the farm gate at this point. But the Coliseum is going to give more EXP. And like I was saying before, like you kind of pivot with what you get. So I'm willing to play a little bit more risky. And if we don't get wrecked on these encounters, then I can boost Duck Kite's level, because the priority right now is more on the EXP side than it is on the resource gathering side. So let's see. The first fight in here is usually pretty scary, and if I get waxed by these fights for a while, then I probably will just bail and go to the farm gate. But let's see. I don't want to see too many Mad Candles. It's okay.
Yeah, Mad Candles have really high defense,
Yeah.
and also do a pretty decent chunk of damage.
Yeah.
So, level 1, that would be tough.
Yeah, they both have. They have both Blazemore and yells and attacks. So
That's the one I was thinking of.
it's called Psych Up, which is the Japanese name is Sutemi, which is you basically do more damage, but you take like double damage yourself, or not double. It's slightly more damage. So we survived one fight, which is pretty good. So we should be all right. But yeah, you saw that all those barrier tiles meant that I couldn't cross until I got this level, so I had to wait. That's a lot of leveling up. Okay, so this is what Countess was saying before, that we have to start forgetting skills more regularly.
Yeah, playing this casually, you notice a lot of thresholds where you learn huge chunks of skills, like level 10, level 14 is another one.
Yep. Yeah, totally. And when I was describing the foreign trainer before, I wanted to talk about how you learn skills in this game, right? Because like in most Dragon Quest games, it's just level based, or it's like in 6 and 7, it's based on number of battles you fight. But in this game, it is both level based and also stat based, right? So you have to hit certain stat thresholds to both learn a base skill and then also for it to upgrade, right? As you breed, a lot of skills you don't have to think twice about. You just hit it as soon as you hit the level. But some of them definitely take a little bit longer for you to actually like learn or upgrade. A good example is that the slime that you start with, Slib, he technically has the ability to learn Mega Magic, and not only does Mega Magic have a really high level threshold, it also requires a lot of MP and I think intelligence. And basically the slime from the beginning of the game is never going to have enough. But if you kept breeding that slime into that base slime class, it means that like eventually it could have enough MP and base stats in order to get it. So that's not super relevant for most of the speedrun. We can technically learn Lure Dance at level 17, depending on how high of a MP we rolled before on the duck height that we're raising up right now. So
Another funny example of learning skills is like the Draki we started with at the very beginning can learn sleep at either level 5 or level 7 based on how much magic it starts with, because it doesn't gain any MP at 5. So
yeah.
can't learn it at 6.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, we're gonna level up a little bit here. My goal is to get to level 17 or 18 to learn Lure Dance, and then also we're gonna spawn another merchant like before. So we're gonna hang out for 200 steps. So we're kind of doing both together right now. And yeah, I mean, while we do this, we can let the host take it away for a while.
I was about to ask, that sounds like a training montage to me.
That's right.
So I definitely have a few donations I can read off here. We have $50 from an anonymous donor. Finally caught one of these live. I've been a long-time enjoyer of RPG Limit Break. Glad to be able to finally chip in. Thank you for all your amazing effort. We also have $50 from Evil Ash 25, donating for Surge's strengths ups from Handy's Chrono Cross run yesterday. Rounded up. Good luck, Tonic, on the Monsters run. It's wild to think that we both had our first RPG LB runs 9 years ago in 2016, and here we are doing it again in 2025.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks. Thanks for everything you've done for the DQ community. Donating this towards naming the Soul Blazer hero Everhate, who was also my speed hero.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Ash.
Also have $15 from KR Shush. Busy latter part of the week for me, so I haven't tuned in as often, but I still want to donate. Good luck to the runners for the rest of the week, and I'll be back for the finale. I would just like to speak about the incentives we have for this run. I believe you said we have about 45 minutes, an hour left? Probably?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, I know, chat. I know I'm supposed to remain neutral on some of these, but I do think it's a shame that the Mimic name is currently, Mimi is currently not in the lead, but you can fix that with not a whole lot of money. Currently, Gorp is in the lead with $100, and Mimi is at 36.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm sure chat would love to see that swing. Additionally, we also have Lionex and Whipbird available, but pretty sure chat's really rooting for that Mimi name. Let's see.
If anyone wants a reason to donate to name it Mimi, I know we started a new prize block here. If we got any Mad Candle fans in the audience, you've got a statue of a Mad Candle, aka Wax Murderer, up for a donation. Minimum $5 donation, I believe, gets you in the drawing for it.
Yeah, that is true, and you provided it.
Yes, I did.
Countess made it himself.
Yeah, that is open until the end of the Zelda Link's Awakening DX run that happens later tonight. So not a whole lot of time to get in on that. We do additionally have a couple other prizes I could talk about real quick. If you have donated at least $200 throughout the entire marathon, we do have that Nintendo Switch 2 bundle available. That is available for the entire rest of the marathon. There is also for a single donation of $50 or more up until the finale, there's a Lucas Blaster replica. Until the end of the Zelda Link's Awakening run, there's a Final Fantasy XIV OST for $20. There is also, let's see here, there's also a Final Fantasy XIV Lionheart Gunblade for $10. There is some Light Party Perlers for $5. There is a tabletop RPG set for Final Fantasy XIV for $15. And there is a Lascris, the Great Automaton of Ronka for $15, also available until the end of Zelda's Link's Awakening.
All right. Show me the meat. Oh, good. Oh, good. Very good. Sorry, I'm just making guttural noises over here. Yep. No.
And a staff.
Yeah, why not?
Screen afterward.
Yeah, why not? That's right.
Love it.
But yeah, really good. We have a total of 7 right now, which means that I'm going to keep 4 of them, and we won't have to. Warp Staff's not super great right now, but we're actually done here, yeah, because I hit level 17, and I actually did learn Lure Dance at 17 instead of 18. It's not a big deal if you have to go to 18, but we are done, and we are going to just go right into breeding this duck kite into a whipbird. So we have our second whipbird here, which is really nice. So foreign trainer, foreign trainer May has everybody's favorite mistranslation. So you know about Wyverns, right? We got Rayburn in this game.
Rayburn.
Rayburn. All right, LB, right? And we definitely have Lure Dance. We do. Beanie. All right. Good. Just making sure.
You have no idea what kind of egg it'll be.
That's right.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I know. All right, good. All right, we only have one more breeding to do, so there's not much more opportunity for me to mess up, which is good. I just specifically have to make sure that this whipbird is the opposite gender of the whipbird that I have now, because eventually they're going to make super whipbird, super bird.
Now, where's the translation come in? Because isn't this called stone bird in Japanese?
Yeah, it's rockbird.
Rockbird, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know where the whip is. I guess they kind of thought the top of its tail sort of looked like a whip, I guess. I don't know. Not really.
Doesn't really look like rockbird either, though.
Yeah, rockbird is actually a monster specific. It does not show up in any mainline game.
Oh, really?
All right, so we can take, so we're going to take this amount, and then we can, I'm actually going to store one more because I'm not really hurting for cash, and it'll give me some pivotability, new word. For later, Okay. And then at this point, we can kind of just roll with what the game gives us. It is time to buy a beast tail. And we actually don't really need bookmarks right now. We're going to need it later. So I'm actually going to, let's do it. We can do like kind of like a pivot strat, a little bit of a pivot strat, just making up terms too, where we can fill up our inventory with all the bookmarks we're going to need from here on out. And we're going to have to come back to the shop anyways, so that we can buy some of the later stuff. That's like a lot of money, man. Just kind of, piecing together a game plan. It's fine. Like 6,000 money is basically what I need from here. So I'm going to buy a bunch of bookmarks and put it in the vault to save me some walking time later. I probably am going to come back to this shop and buy the World Dew, but I'm not going to do it yet. Same with the potion for the final stretch.
You're not going to do it?
I'm not. I'm thinking.
You're not going to World Dew it?
Yeah. You can buy them from the secret shop, so if I happen to run into them, I will. And then I can do this because I have enough money. I'm just trying to think it in the future. This is what I'm talking about, where it's like really hard to kind of figure some of the stuff on the fly. But what I'm trying to do is just fill up the vault with the kind of stuff that I might need in the future, so I can save time by not walking all the way to the right, and instead we can just go here instead. So let's do it. I'm gonna keep one with me, just in case I run into a trainer or something. And then the warp wings, we can do like this, and I should do it. Yep. So now we're going to go breed, check the gender of the other whipbird. They're eventually going to breed together. And the goal here is to get to level 16 with the whipbird that I'm about to hatch so that I can learn the spell Heal All, which is going to be very important very soon. So I actually don't know what my current whipbird's gender is, so it's a boy. What do we have? And we will use Bless. So Bless allows you to change this, which is nice. And then, yeah, after you hatch it, you can't change it anymore. So that'll work out.
Yeah. The egg evaluator's text when you bless an egg is really weird in Japanese. Like, she just goes la 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 in English, but in Japanese it's just like these random characters like arrows and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. All right, so we're going to have these two whipbirds for a while, but eventually when they combine together, that's the final whipbird, and that's what the naming convention or the naming incentive is going to be for. So not yet, but coming up sometime. I can't even say soon because it really depends on how S-Class goes, that big breakthrough barrier that we're going to make it through. So, but it's not coming anytime super soon. All right. And now it's time for another, we have 2 more like level up training sessions to go through. And this is one of them. This one's really easy. The next one's like a little bit more tenuous, but yeah. Just trying to think if there's other main mechanics that we haven't really covered yet. We can talk about maybe, so we've been talking about this like whole tactic system with charge, mixed, or cautious. So you saw me in the early game that I was specifically using charge and like confirming by using charge. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's not gonna like matter too much. I mean, if he gives me another book, it'll be really, really nice, but that's not common.
Nothing else. It's a real easy fight.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like there, you see me like specifically confirming charge, because if I just hit fight instead of plan and then into charge, it would kind of do the same thing, but the way this game is kind of strung together is that there's a lot of personalities. Actually, I have to kind of manage this. You want to describe personalities a little bit?
Yeah, it's
That's ridiculous.
Was it another book?
It was another book, quest book, yeah.
Great. Your monsters all have different personalities, and they kind of influence their actions that they take when they're on different tactics. So there's also like some special things that they can do in certain personalities. Like we've seen them do different things like yell and attack, which can do a little extra damage. Some personalities give you an extra chance of actual critical hits. At one point I saw Hail, the heal slime, get a critical hit on his heal where it said a celestial light covers him, and then the heal spell didn't cost any magic. Picking these tactics out of the tactic menu can just help influence which personality you end up with.
Yeah, for sure. I'll show you real quick what it looks like in the menu. You see this easygoing, carefree, right?
Yep.
These are like kind of like middling personalities. They're not so bad, but the whole point, nice too. They're not too expensive now, especially now that I have this book that I can sell and basically buy 10 dues. So pretty good. But yeah, by using charge in the early game, you can heavily influence critical hits. I gotta be a little careful here. I gotta keep my hubris in check.
I was wondering about that. You went hot into that encounter without healing after that damage tile.
It's fine. This defense is high, right? Right? Yeah, that's what you get.
Hubris levels off the charts right now.
Man. Levels we've never seen before.
That's awesome. I am going to wander around this floor because I picked up all the items on the previous floor, and it's one of the prerequisites for the cleric to show up. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll see if the cleric shows up, and if not, I can just warp wing out. Admittedly, I should have healed, for sure. Yeah. Just take a quick look around. You can get world leaves at this stage, but they're very rare. I think it's a 1% drop, or not, just a 1%.
Yeah, I think this came up during DQ11, but like the Dragon Quest series in general is really stingy when it comes to allowing you to revive your party members. There's an item that can revive that usually in the mainline series you can only hold one of them at a time. And then your magic options for reviving are there's a spell called Vivify that you usually get about halfway through the game, which is a 50% chance to revive with 50 HP, which is great when you're casting it in battle and it just doesn't work. And then usually near the final boss, you might get the revive spell. So that's actually a spell that I avoid picking up in these runs is Vivify, because sometimes your monster will be at really low HP and you're like, okay, please heal yourself. And then he'll cast Vivify and it'll fail instead. And then now everyone's dead.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want it.
Yeah.
It's not really on the table for us to get it with any percent strats, but yeah.
Yeah, and you're definitely not getting to a high enough level to learn Revive.
Yeah. All right, we got a warp wing, just making sure. All right, tone it down a little bit. Play a little safe. Come on, man. No, it's good. It's like the amount of resources that we have is just incredible.
He has 188 max HP.
Any amount of healing would have saved him.
Yeah, just even an
13's
herb.
good though, dude. It's a good number.
That's
and P, dude.
You know?
I respect it.
No, absolutely. He went for it.
We would have told Countdown to do the same thing.
I'm telling you, that attitude would be welcome in Taken 3.
Yup. So yeah, we're basically good on money for the rest of the game. We can buy everything that we need. I also have picked up 2 World Dew, which is nice. Had value of about 1,000. I can sell this book. I have some spare money. And you want to have an excess of money going into the Gate of Reflection, right? The final major gate that we have to get through, because it's quite dangerous, especially at the end. There's a 3-fight gauntlet at the end of it, but we have absolutely enough money to get through all of that, which is good. And yeah, as you can kind of see, well, maybe you haven't seen it yet, but the general gist is there's a point in which getting all this money isn't going to make your run faster, right? You have the baseline safeties of all the things that you want to get. I can buy a lot of world leaves now going into the final gate fight that I was just talking about, but it's not one-to-one correlated with speed. It's you need it. You need quite a bit of money early on to get going, but there is a point of diminishing returns for sure.
Yeah, early on, if you can get a beast tail really early, that can really help. But then, like he's saying, it pretty much plateaus at a certain point because you only need so much healing for the final gate. And if you've got all that, then any additional money does absolutely nothing for you.
Yep, for sure. And arguably the 2 hardest fights in the game are arena fights, right? And no amount, you can't use items in them, so no amount of money is really going to help you there. So... And that's what's cool about this game. It's it throws a lot at you, and you just have to, again, work with what you got. But you kind of have to figure out. At the end of the day, it's still a speed run, right? So you're trying to figure out what is actually going to convert into going fast. We'll be in S-Class somewhat soon, which is good. We would definitely want to start rolling attempts of that because S-Class is particularly dangerous. Yeah. Very, very tough.
Yeah, the hardest part of speedrunning RPGs for me is hitting that point where I've got everything I need, but then there's a treasure chest and I don't know what's in it. It's a random item. I want to open it.
And it's a mimic.
Gotta leave it behind.
Could be good, though.
Yeah.
Could be good, yeah. All right, yeah, we're just trying to get to level 16 so we learn Heal All, so that both of our whippers have Heal All, so that they can actually survive and tank stuff. Nice little floor pork chop.
Who amongst us?
Hey, we got food to think about after this.
That's
dude.
right,
So
yeah.
hey,
I could take a floor pork chop.
yeah,
Yep.
might be better for the stomach than what we had yesterday.
All right. Actually, we'll check this leaf because leaves are not, herbs are not super common. The map herb is fine. It's not a big deal. But it could be a world leaf, so it's worth checking.
Yeah, we're far enough along in the game now that we're out of the realm of seeing herbs everywhere, regular herbs,
Yep.
and now it's ooh, it could be.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to break in here for a moment.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I just
totally.
saw the most amazing thing in chat. They called it a flork chop.
A flork chop.
Yeah, I guess it is, yeah.
You're right.
Legally distinct from wall chicken.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
classic.
If we're doing a training montage right now, I do
Yeah,
have
go
a
for
couple
it.
donations
Yeah,
I could read
definitely.
off. It seems like Seems like my call to action for Mimi backfired because Gorp has pulled further ahead now. We have $50 from Ivan. Wow, it's my favorite career day developer live on stream. Good luck, Tonic, and putting this towards keeping the Mimic's name Gorp.
That's great. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you,
sir.
Moogie.
We also have $50 from Orlean with no comment, and $25 from Spork Rocket with no comment. But thank you very much for your generous donations. If I could take a minute to talk about the cause we are raising money for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. NAMI, or the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. NAMI provides advocacy, education, support, and public awareness to improve the lives of all individuals and families affected by mental illness. NAMI exists to ensure that no one is alone in their mental health journey. We understand that the last few years have been a very stressful time for many people across the world, and this has put a huge strain on many people's mental health. In the United States alone, 21% of adults reported suffering some kind of mental illness. That's roughly 53 million people. Please remember to reach out for help if you feel like you need it. You are not alone.
Okay.
It's every time UA is reading donations that we find expensive staff on the ground.
Absolutely.
So you're saying that I'm good luck?
UA's the
Think
magic,
you're
man.
good, yeah.
So far, so good. Although we have kind of tapped out on the money front.
We definitely have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
for sure.
pretty
That's
good.
fair.
Yeah, so like Countless was saying before, the stabs, you can't, I mean, you can sell them at base in Great Tree for 10% of their value, but
Yeah.
Snow Staff is actually kind of powerful. You can use it just as an item, so it's a backup for that.
Yeah, it also still sells for 400 at Great Tree. It's worth 4,000 if you sell it on a special floor, which we do not need at this point.
Yeah, definitely, and we're good. We're almost level 16, so I'm just gonna grind this one out.
It's kind of hard to tell on this tile set, but there are still different tiles with different encounter chances even in here. I don't think we really talked about this, but like in the basic tile set, the grass is the lowest encounter chance, the forest is in the middle, and the hills are the highest. And it's, again, harder to tell in this area which one is the forest, which one's the hills, but if you recognize the pattern of the tiles, you can kind of know, but I don't have the exact pictures of the tiles memorized for every single gate type.
Yeah, definitely. The same tile will change over time too.
Yeah.
Like later gates will become higher threat level.
Yeah, and like the damage tiles that we saw, those replace the hills, so that's kind of unfortunate when you're trying to grind on experience. You don't have the hills as an option to walk on.
Yeah.
I really want to know what the Japanese translation of "Hey, what are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
all one word.
Kind of
is.
doubt it's that, yeah.
I don't think I've ever paused during them to read that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got 10,000 money on hand, and we are here. All right, so Big was asking about, like, when does the volatility start to show up? We're here.
Right here.
So the first two fights are like, okay, typically the second fight can do a decent amount of damage to you, but you have to kind of manage what your healing situation looks like. But it's the third fight that we really just got to get basically lucky on, and we'll explain when we get there. But these first two fights are not too bad. These guys are pretty susceptible to sleep, so typically when you set mix, it'll do sleep ball. And yeah, we're using the Battle Rex again, and Battle Rex is not particularly great, but it does use Blaze Air, and I was saying before that you can do like a slightly more casual speedrun strat is to raise Rex to level 21, contingent upon her HP being high enough, which is the case right now, that she would learn Scorching instead of Blaze Air, which is definitely a step up in terms of damage output, but you have to spend a lot more time grinding because Rex takes away that EXP from the other two Whippers, so I decide not to do it. I typically don't.
Yeah, and like Tonic said, if you do that route, there's a very low chance, like 10% chance that you might not learn Scorching at level 21 and might require 22, or even, if you're even more unlucky, 23. And at that point, you kind of just don't get it. But it's still, you sucks all that XP away from your birds.
Yeah, definitely. The main takeaway is that Rex is not going to likely survive in the final of the three fights here.
Yeah.
And the other two fights are not very dangerous without Rex. It is helpful to have Rex, but that extra little bit of HP is not that big of a deal. It does learn Evil Slash at 21, which is really nice, but it also doesn't like to use it against the Meta Bull that we're going to be seeing soon, so it's not great because of that.
Yeah, usually uses Metal Cut instead.
Yeah. Or it'll use Evil Slash on the Roboster in the middle.
I love this fight.
Yeah, this is a funny fight because these are monsters from the beginning of the game, but they basically just made like super powerful versions of them. which
Yeah,
is
it's
cool.
like the slime has tier 3 fireball spell, the Drachia sleep ball, the army ant has yell help, which actually deals a lot of damage if it goes off.
Yeah. All right. So this is about the time we start to see Lure Dance, which is a lose a turn skill, not a spell, and it has a really good success rate. So it's very valuable to have. I'm going to try to heal up here. Let's see if Rex can do something for us. It's not a... we're just chilling. Okay, well, sure, I guess. But yeah, I want to end this fight with as much HP as possible, and it's not currently looking great for that. Okay. Rex going down is like not the end of the world, but okay. We are going to... I'm going to double heal because I think Blaze Air might kill this slime. So let's see how it looks.
Okay.
Okay, this could be good. It kind of depends on if it uses Firebolt, yeah. So the Whipbird in the middle is going to heal itself, but my Whipbird on the right, the 195, is not going to get healed because I think this is going to kill, probably. Yeah. All right, here we are. Yeah, this is the fight. So I'll let TheCowness take it and explain it, but general gist, we want the guy on the right to defeat his own allies.
Yeah, so if you know Dragon Quest, you know what a Metabol is. It's a metal slime that basically we can only deal 1 damage to it at a time, except with special skills. The Roboster, if you play DQ2, he just does a lot of physical damage to you. He's got Rain Slash that hits the whole team right here, or he's got Quad Hits, which hits 4 random targets. And the Metal Drac is a huge wild card in this fight. He's got the Massacre ability that we were talking about back at the Mad Knight, where it'll just be a critical hit on a completely random target. So we really want him to take out the Metabol or at least the Roboster. If he tries to hit himself or the Roboster, it'll take 2 hits to kill, but the Metabol will go down in 1 hit and stop this Firebolt that's hitting us every single turn.
Oh, we actually outsped him here.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it prolongs us another turn. But yeah, for sure. Sorry, keep going.
But
okay.
yeah, there he hit himself.
We
but
don't want him to do that again. We
Yeah.
want him to hit his other 2 allies.
Yeah, if he doesn't cooperate, it's not the end of the world. It's better for him to kill himself than our characters.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Okay, that's great.
That's a good one.
that helps.
That's really good. And yeah, I'm using Lure Dance to basically slow down the pace of the fight to give me a chance to catch up on healing, which is a
Yeah.
major reason that I got healed.
Yeah, the Lure Dance almost always hits all 3 of these characters, though the AI kind of doesn't like to use it if all the enemies are already stunned, and since they're faster than us, usually they are if we just used it.
Okay, 2025.
Oh, it missed.
Okay. Yeah, so I just used Surround, so it's going to have a lower chance of hitting now. Come on!
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about!
Let's go.
So yeah, it's really good. I should do it. Yeah, once you take out the Metabol, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And everybody's surrounded.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely not done yet, but like taking out the Metabol is like a huge, huge deal. So, and we already landed defense twice, so their defense power is down, and we're just gonna try to take it out from here. It's looking pretty good. I'm still gonna play it kind of safe and make sure that my first Whipper doesn't get blown up. But yep,
Nice miss.
Like definitely could have hurt because it does a lot. So, but it already hit itself once, so it's actually almost dead.
Yeah, I'm surprised it survived 3 more hits.
There it is, 253.
Ooh, close.
Good.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo! Very good, very good. That was super fortunate. Yeah, he just like mostly hit his allies and himself. So
Yeah.
it's really, once the Metabol goes down like that, you're like probably gonna win. So super good. Not done, not out of the woods yet, but really good.
Tell me about the volatility
I
again.
know, right?
Well,
Hubris check.
True, true. And
Oh, you,
No more healing the rest of the run.
yeah, that's right. You're handicapped.
People
it's
do
a-
have to remember that marathon luck does work both ways sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
happened to me.
Definitely. If it's any consolation, the very fastest times, especially in Japanese, are like they're going a lot faster than this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're doing some
Yeah,
safety
yeah.
stuff, but everything has been going pretty well. So definitely good. All right. So the pace now changes a little bit to just preparing for the Gate of Reflection and a little bit more on the safety side. We're going to go pick up the Mimic and then breed our Whipbirds together. So we have a little bit, maybe it's going to be in the range of like 5 to 10 minutes, kind of depends, but Mimic is going to actually be the first one that we get. So, yeah, if the host can watch out for that, UA, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I am absolutely keeping my eye on that.
Cool. What am I doing? I don't know. Just like not doing the right thing.
Wandering.
Yeah, you know.
Big deal.
Yeah, you got the time.
All right. So I'm going to clear out my inventory. I'm going to deposit this snow staff. Double check that I have everything that I need because I still have an opportunity to force another merchant if I really need to. But I think at this point I'm pretty good. Just want to make sure that I definitely have 4 sirloin, 2 rib. So we're going to put away this snow staff for now. We'll sell everything else. I guess I'll just probably keep this on hand. And looks good. But yeah, it's kind of hard to go fast when you're like trying to keep it on top of your randomized inventory per runs, right? But yeah, we're going to take 2 sirloin with us. And sorry, we'll also take Warpwing. And we're going to need to free up some space. So at this point, do this. Yeah, I just need inventory space. So.
You need the herb.
Not really. Okay, I could have done that much more efficiently. It's all good. And then we're going to pick up our repellent. We can bring 2 with us, yeah. And then we need bookmarks, for which 2 should be enough. So, okay, so we were talking about just how powerful breeding is in this game to make your monsters to power up, to keep going. But we're actually going to kind of deviate from that and catch 2 monsters from the Gate of Reflection. And ordinarily in this game, as you play casually, like just straight up catching a monster and adding it to your team is typically not very like a good strategy. But it turns out that the Gate of Reflection is like such a huge power increase that these monsters are very high level and they come with good resistances and have like it kind of works out that they contextually have the spells and skills that we really want. So the Mimic is up first, and the Mimic comes with Blaze Most and Defeat and has a large amount of HP relatively, right? It has can be up to like 320 health, I think. So it's very good. So in order to get a Mimic, we actually need to find a Mimic chest, and it needs to be a trap chest, which is kind of funny. So we're specifically looking for a trap chest. The way I typically do it is I look around. We'll see. It could be. Okay, Mimic, good. So now we're going to have basically like a 90% chance. So we're going to understand that I forgot to get the sirloin because I didn't have enough space in my inventory.
Oh,
Hubris check.
All right, that's cool. We're gonna, yeah, it's just gonna take. We're gonna get lucky with 2 ribs, right? For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
So
2 ribs should still be over a 50% chance, so.
yeah, we'll see. I think that's right. It's just whether or not I'm like allowed to
Hey,
get it. You know,
we either believe right now or we don't, dude. So what's it gonna be?
I think
I believe.
I believe.
All right, let's do it.
So this is the last chance to for the Mimic bid war here.
Yes.
Maybe.
Possibly.
We'll see.
Maybe. Sorry.
We're not sure.
Yeah, it's just like a percentage chance of happening, so could be soon. But yeah, it's happening quite soon. So even if it's not right now, it's soon. Okay. What do we got?
Oh my god.
Forgetting Tatsu call?
No.
It didn't work, so we got a little bit to go. But yeah, if you want to donate for that, it's you should probably do it soon. I know. I got to use my Warpoint to get back. Oh yeah, I didn't say it before. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, sorry. What happened before was that my inventory was full, so then I deposited a bunch of stuff. But the reason I found out my inventory was full because I was trying to put the sirloin in my inventory. But then your boy forgot to actually
Got to take them back.
get the sirloin, you know.
The text moves so fast too in the GBC games that if you're mashing through it or turboing through it, like sometimes I don't even notice. I try to buy a stack of items and he tells me my inventory is full, and if I'm not paying attention to whether or not my money went down, I don't notice.
Okay, we're good. And we have
All
rope
right.
wings. Yeah, all right. In fact, we can actually do this.
I was gonna
slight
say.
speed strat to do this because we have 2. Yeah, and this is good because once we do this dip, we can do our final inventory preparation for the run. So, all right. Once more with feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Dip.
I am so happy we got through S-Class.
Yeah, it was a huge win.
Yeah, really good.
It's a big deal, as they say.
That's right. All right, so same thing. We're just looking for trap chest. In this case, if you see them along the way, that's great, like we did before. But they are like a little finicky to come by, and we're gonna try to spawn a special floor.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I think you want a multiple of 3 and then just save before you go in the hole.
Yep, that's right. It's also worth noting that trap chests and mimics specifically will show up earlier in the run, but they are tiered at different like power levels.
Yeah.
And this is the highest level mimic, which is why we don't get a mimic before, even though we possibly could. This one joins at level 38 and is basically everything that we need.
Yeah, the levels aren't necessarily tied to the strength of the random encounter monsters, but just kind of symbolically, I'm pretty sure every monster you recruit in here is at maximum level.
Oh, come on. What's up with these moon orbs? What are you talking about, man? All right, let me look real
This guy's
quick.
pointing at the screen. The hubris is max.
What about this?
We don't
this
need
is,
it.
Don't
this
even
is,
get
this
it.
is what Countess was saying. He's like, you don't need it. Actually, warp stab is pretty
Okay.
good, though.
You have one already.
I do, but like it's a one-time use, and yeah, I don't need this moon orb. It specifically will save you time at the end crawl of the Gate of Reflection, so it actually is worth getting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to read any donations that time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are going to save the game now. We're going to do the same reset loops that we were doing before. We just got to point and get a chest floor, right?
Right
Just
here.
like,
It's right
come
there.
on. There.
Oh my god, dude.
All right, Sirloin, hold on.
That's
Okay.
crazy. That's incredible.
That's
I hate this run so much, dude.
that's pretty bananas.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see how this goes. So we throw a sirloin, we throw a rib. That is going to max out its recruit chance, so it's a 90% chance from here. So the mimic donation incentive is happening soon. Most likely, 90% chance. So
You have a save from the floor before, right? So it's going to be even less.
I don't have a save on this floor because I'll explain that in a second. I have a save at the beginning, but not on this floor. There's a reason why. Okay, here we go. Soon, either this turn or next. All right, what we got? We got. I know the. There it is.
There they are.
All right, it's time. Let's
We
do
did
it.
it.
All right. I have to admit defeat on this one, but Gorp did win. I plead ignorance on the context for that, but Gorp did win.
Gorp.
Gorp.
Thank you for the Gorp donations. The Gorp donations. Just messing up my words. All right.
Our corporation. Well, you're not living that one down for the rest of this trip, that's for sure.
No.
No. So you're going to go breed your whip
Yeah,
birds
totally.
together
So
now.
the whippers are coming up right now too.
Yeah, so the whipbird name.
I'll let you know, but it's like 30 seconds.
Any last minute snipers?
Also, rolling 300 HP on the mimic is actually really nice. So that can be as low as like 240. Oh, whoops. All right. The order actually doesn't matter here. So
Is it my time?
Whipbird. Whipbird 6. This is my last breed. I didn't mess up the breeding, right? We're good. We're great. Go.
Got it.
All right. So from here, yeah, we've got the name coming up in 15 seconds.
Whipbird.
All right, here we go. I'll take it.
All right. It is Bic. If you have to ask how to spell that, I have 1,000 questions.
That's right.
Is there enough characters to change it to Dornation?
No. What about Biche?
Sure, man.
All right. Big it is. You
Take
better
good
do
care of it.
Yeah, you better do your job, Vic.
Okay. All right, man.
Yeah.
You know I will, dude. I have literally never let you down a single time.
That's absolutely true.
So just for the benefit of our viewers, how much time is left on that last name for Lion X?
Maybe, I'm going to guess like 20 minutes, 20 to 30, somewhere around there.
Is now a good time to read off a couple of donations?
Absolutely. Go for it.
We have $75 from Doc Shades, 2025 declaration. I love CT Meat. Good luck on the rest of the run, Tonic. Thanks for all the years of tangible progress. Donation to Bix Choice.
Thank you. Thank you, Dog Shades.
Nice.
Thank you, Doc Shades.
Yeah, thank you. Dog shit.
Thank you. Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
We also have $50 from Jeff. Shoutouts to Uranium Anchor on the announcements, and I cannot believe I mispronounced my own name.
That's awesome.
Onyx donations contagious.
All right.
Thank you, Cleartonic.
Yeah.
You just made my day. Whatever day it is right now, I don't know.
All right, we got enough warp wing. So the game plan now is to beef up. A lot of pointing. We're gonna beef up this big. Big needs to get to levels 15. So, I mean, you gotta train up.
I've never been beefed up to 15 before, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, let me just double check. I didn't do this yet. So, Countess, you want to talk about like the wild stat?
Yeah, so monsters in this game, when you recruit them out of the wild, they have a stat called Wild, which is in this game a number between 0 and 255. And essentially, if they're the number is high enough, then they just won't listen to you in battle. They'll kind of lean toward using like certain tactics based on their personality. Like if their personality lines up, you might be able to get them to do charge stuff. But if you tell them to defend, they'll ignore you and attack anyway. When you breed monsters, they always start out with 0, though, which is part of why, like Tonic said earlier, recruiting monsters out of the wild and just trying to use them isn't a good idea unless you can throw a bunch of sirloins on them and get rid of that wild stat, which is what we're going to end up doing with the Lion X that's coming up. So, and yeah, it's kind of comparable to, in Pokemon, the Pokemon not listening to you if you traded it in, but... yeah, so that's why in most of these runs, again, we mostly just use monsters that we've bred.
Just another similarity.
Yeah.
Can't get away from it.
And it didn't quite work the same, though, just because... and another thing, too, is if you leave your monsters behind in the farm, their wild starts to build up as you walk around inside the gates.
Yeah.
And similarly, it goes down very slowly as you have them in your party walking around in the gates, too. But not fast enough for our... purposes, so we're going to be given extra beats. Yeah, priest.
Man,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
what level is Bic now?
10?
10, yeah. So I come to this gate to do a little bit of preparation for the final gate that we're doing soon. Again, this is something that I'm doing for like a marathon safety route. You can just skip this and go directly into the Gate of Reflection, but those encounters always have 3 enemies and they're very scary. And specifically, I want to go into the final part of this game, or part of the Gate of Reflection, the next boss that we're going to fight, with a lot of MP on the Whipbird. So this allows you to get back to base, recover all your MP, and you can just focus on getting to the end of the gate. So
Yeah, when you're playing this casually, I feel like you very often breed all 3 of your main monsters at the same time, and then they're all level 1, and then it's really rough if you try to jump into the newest gate without going into an earlier one just to get a couple of levels to learn some skills, get higher max MP, and then wing out, heal, and then tackle the latest gate.
absolutely. And we did that this entire run. You saw that we staggered like the Mad Pecker and the new Whipbird, and then the Whipbird A with Whipbird B. So
Yeah. There's always one relatively powerful monster still in the party.
yeah, for sure.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so we got a few more fights here. This could be a mimic, which is fine.
They're worth a lot of XP.
Yeah, definitely. The final Gate of Reflection crawl can take a while. We have one more foreign trainer to show up, which is our friend the Warp Wizard, and and we want them to show up, but it's contingent upon a bunch of things going correctly. And we also do need to get the Lion X to show up. That's usually not a problem. And then, I think with the amount of money that we have and the amount of world dues, we're going to be okay for the Duran Gauntlet. And then the big time variance is going to come at the very end of the run. So I don't want to waste time or anything, but I'm trying to play somewhat consistently and save to get there. But then we're going to hopefully have time to roll a few attempts at the final arena segment. But that, S-Class, which did go well before, is, one huge part of the volatility. And then the second one is the very final stretch. And I was saying before about, we kind of like choose different routes based on the context. If you're trying to do like a, PB attempt, it's going to be much more aggressive than what we've done here today. But breeding these 2 whippers at the end is kind of like an optional thing, but it gives you a lot more HP, which is going to help you tank through the most dangerous parts of the final part of this game. You're asleep, Big. Come on.
Dude, I
been
slept
up a
1
while.
hour in the last 26 hours.
He wants to be asleep
what do you
really
mean?
badly.
Does he need perhaps some more dragon roast coffee?
Oh,
I do.
I do. So, shoot, so do I, because I forgot the question I was going to ask.
All right.
There's level 15 there, which gets us that Iron Eye skill. This is also about where the Whipbird's HP starts to drop off, like I said before. So we've got close to as much HP as we're going to get on the bird. It's a 364 right now. We'll
Yeah.
probably end close to 400, but it's not going to get quite the gains per level that it has been.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to take a stab at describing the growth rates, briefly?
Yeah, so there's each of your stats has 32 different options for how they can grow per level, and there's basically just a big table of numbers programmed into the game for each one of those values, where on each level you're going to get this much stats, and it's not necessarily a correlation of the lowest number gets the lowest growth. There's certain breakpoints that you notice as you're leveling up where, this HP growth is going to drop off at 16. The other day I noticed another breakpoint around 35, 36, where the monsters I was raising weren't getting good defense power, but then suddenly they started getting it. So it's kind of hard to picture it when you're trying to route this out, deciding which numbers are the ones that you want to use, because it's not just a linear, this has 14 growth, this one has 15 growth, I'll use the 15. Depending on which level you're going to, the 14 might be better than the 15. So there's a lot of spreadsheeting involved with deciding what monsters you can use for your route. But those the level ups not being random does also give you especially early game when you need stats to learn certain skills. It gives you an idea of what level you need to level up to learn certain skills. An alternative route for early on, you can get a couple wyverns in your team instead of the birds that Tonic bred, and it's possible for one of them to learn Vivify if it hits a certain level, but that level can be variable based on how much MP you started with. And you really don't want Vivify anyway, but in some routes you might.
Yep, for sure. Okay, I think we're pretty good. 3 world leads is really nice. I'm just I'm taking my time here, just thinking about what I can get. And I'm going to do a last check for Warp Wing and Repellent. So the potion is kind of a very backup kind of situation. Warp Staff looks good. We have 1 Warp Wing in case things go really poorly. And 1 Repellent's kind of low. I think I'm actually going to sell this potion. And Bix MP is looking pretty good. So I think we're all right. Let's do it. Whoops, just 1. Because the 3 warp stats are actually really nice. It's going to speed it up quite a bit. Sorry, 1 last check. I need to make sure I got the mapper. I do, right? Okay, cool.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't take a third-party member from the farm with you here? Or is it just you want to cut off any seconds you can and just leave a space for the Lion X? Because it doesn't really matter if you have a third or not, right? You just send them home.
Yeah. The short answer is it would get in the way because Rex right now has a fairly high wild stat. So when I'm trying to recruit Lion X, I want to make sure I control what actions take place. So it could start attacking a like either the Lion X or another ally when I don't want it to, and it can throw off my threshold of trying to line up the sirloin correctly. So
That's right. I guess Rex is the only thing you have at the farm, right? Besides Slib.
yeah, I think that's right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And we're getting Lion X soon anyways, right? So it's just
what's
going to
the
get
point?
replaced. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking for the wizard, the warp wizard. But what I need to do is kind of like crawl through, and I'm looking for a specific kind of floor to show up that is going to have a 4x4 grid, right? So a lot of these don't look good, so I'm continuing to go, but I want to hit it fairly soon. So there is a point at which I probably will reset over it, but we aren't there yet.
It's like a less aggressive strat you can do where you just use your map herb on the first floor and see if the floor you're on is good. This one's probably good.
Yeah, this one looks
But
good.
yeah, like those mazes, they're often like 14, 15 screens, not the full 16. So you might have to crawl around a couple screens to see, is there like a corner that's missing? And but when you see one with this that has these wide open rooms, they're almost always full 16. Like these are ones that are really easy to recognize because they're always specific patterns.
Yeah, definitely. Any of these like big, bulky, blocky sort of ones
Yeah.
very frequently will be 16. So we used the map herb. We exposed all 4x4 grid of 16 tiles. And now we are at a 50-50 rate of showing up the wizard. Warp wizard. Gorp wizard.
Gorp Wizard.
Old
Yep.
wizard.
Another staff?
See those wizards.
Could be a
cat,
warp
dude.
staff.
He's like, I don't care. I
All
want
right,
the Warp
now
Wizard.
let's do it. Come on.
Ah.
That's actually kind of nice. We're about to reset anyways, unless the wizard's over here.
Yeah.
You got one screen left to check?
Nope.
Oh, two.
Yeah, if it were confirmed to be the last screen, the wizard actually can't spawn on the screen that has the hole on it.
Yeah.
But fortunately,
Oh,
it kept
that's right.
going.
I forgot we hadn't even seen it yet.
We just keep getting strung along here. We're
Yeah.
probably restarting. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, you can see level 38 on the mimic that we just got, right? So it's like a huge, like that takes a lot of experience points at this route or at this point in the game.
Yeah, and this is exactly why we were spawning those merchants in those gates that have usually a maximum of 4 screens per floor, because it's much faster to tell is the merchant here or not. Whereas in Reflection, you often have 13 to 16 screens to check, but nothing you can do with the
Hey.
required story gate.
There he is.
Found him.
Second try.
Let's go.
And this fight is not going to be dangerous. It's also another reason why not putting another party member in your, because the power level of the foreign trainer that you're fighting
That's
is based
right.
on the combination of the levels on your whole team.
Yeah, the
So-
sum of your levels determines there's a pool of enemies that each foreign master can have, and it's based on the sum of your party's levels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every 20 levels moves you to the next pool. So Lizzie or Rex would have moved you up one more.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's not a big deal because those enemies are not very dangerous either, but there's no real reason to do it.
Sure.
Okay, this is going quite well. So we have a chance of special floor. This could be Coliseum, which is a giant waste of time, or it could be something we can save at. It was neither, no special, but we have 2 bookmarks, so we can save. The general idea is that we want, I'm gonna take the save now. Oh, we have 3 bookmarks because now I want to recruit the Lion X. So Lion X is coming up soon for the name. We do have to recruit it, so we have to see it, which we do here, and then we have to recruit it. So let's see. I'm going to specifically use Lure Dance because I think it's effective on the Grizzly. I don't think it's guaranteed, but
But Grizzly does so much damage.
oh yeah.
It's like one of the really early game, like low maintenance, really strong
Yep.
monsters that you can breed. It's just Beast with Devil.
Yep, for sure. I'm going to play this kind of safe actually because it could get blown up.
Mm.
Grizzly, Gorp, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to do that again. I'm actually going to go for Lure Dance because it didn't land on the Grizzly and I was expecting it to. Come on, Big, dance.
Oh.
It's okay.
2 out of 3.
maybe. Yeah. I'm feeling like Gorp can do it. because we don't have heal all yet, but we're going to get it probably off of this fight, and if not, then we're going to grind to get it. Yeah, as you can see, it's a little sketchy right now.
Nice.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to take a turn or two to heal up now that he's gone. Thankfully, Infernus doesn't really do too much damage to us, so I'll just tank up a little bit. The power level between heal more and heal all is huge, right? So I think in order to keep things running, I'm actually going to use a World Dew here. I don't know. It's a little
You
bit
only got
of,
two?
Yeah. Stay alive, Bic. You can do it.
Ooh.
I got you, dude. I don't got you.
Exactly.
He took exact damage. If this kills, I might actually use the World Leaf, because 3 is quite a lot, so I'm not that worried about it. As long as Gorp stays alive here.
It's like nothing happened.
That was a throw, actually.
Yeah.
So it was. I was supposed to use caution, so
Alright,
that
see?
wasn't your fault.
See?
That was my fault.
Yeah, okay, you know, I see what you're trying to do here. It's not,
Off-
it ain't
off.
gonna work.
I'm trying to be honest.
Off the charts hubris levels.
Yeah.
So much
unfortunately.
hubris. He's trying to get me, dude.
That's right.
It's not right.
It's pretty rude.
But yeah, like using a World Leap there isn't ideal. But that is kind of a sketchy encounter. This one also looks a little scary, but we can make it work. Unfortunately, we can get stop spelled in this fight, so hopefully we can keep it. But yeah, even these fights, like, you know, our Whipbird is pretty strong, the Mimic God is pretty strong, but the Gate of Reflection does not mess around. This is a really dangerous area, so you got to be ready for these fights.
All right,
It's a bit hectic.
big dance.
Yeah, I think you can make it work.
Yeah, for sure. We need to land defense a few times, and surround is nice too. So we're just like slowly doing damage with him. Doesn't really matter. I don't want to waste too much MP with the Mimic though, so we'll see. But yeah, Infernus thankfully doesn't do too much damage. We're actually going to get Infernus, and it's going to be really good soon. Let's do that one more time. This should take out, maybe not this turn, but the next turn. Yeah, they have a lot of defense, which we're going to be getting the benefit soon. So maybe a little hard to describe quickly, but I'm going to set Cautious on the Whipbird so that it's going to continually use Cautious while I try to set this up. So I use an item, and then it's still going to be on Cautious, so it should go for a heal. All right. Yep, so I landed a sirloin, get a rib, caps out at 90, so we got a 90% chance of getting this Lion X. So let's see. Should be this turn.
All right, let's get it.
Come on, Gorp. Come on, Gorp. All right, this is heal all. Perfect. That works out. And then we're at the point where I can get rid of Iron Eyes. Yeah! That's it. Let's go. All right, so yeah, I'll take the name now.
So the name is BLP in all caps.
Nice.
Woot. Very nice.
Big lunker.
All right, BLP. That's it. Okay, great. Thanks for all your donations, everybody. And that's it.
Big shout out to the donation processor who just came out on shift and had to be listening for all 3 of those closes all in quick succession.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard because it's like variable timing, right? So, cool. All right, so we put that in the books. We have one more floor, and I think we got a warp staff, so we can just go right in.
Oh.
You know what? Sure, why not? It could move me closer. Why not? That's
Yeah.
so funny.
You're paying for it, man.
That's so funny.
Wait, you. Oh, right.
Okay, so yeah, we got the wild score down, and should be good. We'll
20 is
do-
fine.
Yep. My MP is pretty okay on Bic. I got to be a little bit careful with it, but I'm just kind of checking everything before we go in. So looks good. So these fights aren't easy, but as long as both Terry and Duran cooperate and don't waste all of my MP and my Whipper, it's usually going to be okay.
Enemy Terry.
Enemy Terry, yeah. All right, so this is a big Dragon Quest VI reference, except this fight isn't canonically correct, but we are going to tank our way through this. These guys have a chance of getting Lure Dance, so we're going to go for it. And the strat for this fight is basically just use Blaze Most twice on each one. These guys are not very threatening. But they do AoE attacks, or they have Blaze most themselves, so they're not too bad. I'm actually going to go for a manual. I'll defend, yeah. Because the right one is dancing this turn, he's not going to do that much, so I want to use Heal Us soon, but yeah, that's good, because that chains it together, so good. Just keep it up. So the Lion X that we just got has Heal Us, which is a incredibly good skill. Heal Us
Nice.
is going to be really valuable when we get to the tournament. And Lion X just has big defense power. And Infamous is also surprisingly really effective in the final arena. So that's good. So we enter the Terry fight with a lot of HP. Unfortunately, my Lion X rolled pretty low HP, but it's the way it shakes out is that it's not the worst thing that happened, because it means that it's going to get knocked out earlier, and it means that, we'll talk about it later, but the heal all that might have healed the Lion X will end up healing the Whipbird, which is more important. So, but we'll get into that. Okay, so Terry's a real fight. It's me, and we want to just take a minute to kind of slow things down, because he does a lot of damage. He has huge physical attack power. So we are going to just increase twice, and then we're going to land defense twice so that our party can actually start to damage him. And if I manage to land surround, which is I think a 50% chance, then we can start to like really cleave through. But I'm going to go for a heal us and then defend. We're off to a pretty good start. He hasn't just gone straight for the Whipbird, which he definitely can do sometimes. Heal us, looking good. Okay, one more time. Defense. I think I only used defense once so far, so let's see. Good. I'm going to specifically leave the Lion X on command so that it doesn't use Vacuum Slash and waste a bunch of MP. And then the other two are just going to attack. If I can manage to land surround, it can really start to make this fight super fast. So I need to heal for a little bit here. I have a Whirldew on hand, so it looks a little scary, but he doesn't really do that much damage. So in this case, I'm going to use Fight because I'm already on Cautious and I don't want to re-input the commands. So I'll just let Bic do the healing, and then once Gorp is healed, we're going to go for another Surround. Surround just like massively decreases their hit rate. It feels maybe better in this game than some other Dragon Quest. Like if an enemy is surrounded, they almost never hit. Not work. Nice crit. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go through another round of healing here. But this is what I was saying before about like I have to spend a decent amount of MP in order to like keep the party alive, where it could be a problem in Duran, but you know. What am I doing? Yep. Just going for surround. He has been range slashing a lot. That's good.
Nice.
Okay, so at this point, I can basically just like heal up. Yeah, I'm going to specifically make sure. Oh my god, what am I doing? Heal up BLP, heal up Gorp. He actually hit through two of them, unfortunately. He's probably almost there. But we definitely also want to go into Duran with as much HP as we can get, so nice. That's actually perfect.
Nice. Yeah. Hit Gorp and then heal all. It's like he didn't even go.
That's all right.
Nice.
Good fight.
Okay.
All right, good.
Okay.
So that's the second of 3 fights of the Gauntlet. The second fight is actually kind of similar, right? We're going to do basically the same strategy, but Duran's attack power is even higher. And he has some other AoE skills like Vacuum that can just do damage even if he gets surrounded. But as long as we tank through the very early parts, we should be okay. I'm going to go for a heal us to try to keep us maxed out. For him to take 176 damage after, it would be a lot, but he's fine. And the heal us is like really good in this case, so very good. I'll do the same thing. This time we'll just defend. JD. That's a really good turn because he just went for it. Single target, and then now we're going to start to whittle down his defenses just like before.
Nice. Nice miss.
Yeah. Maybe I don't even need to cast around.
Don't say that.
Chill. Okay.
Cool it, buddy.
Yeah. All right, Gorp, charge. Ooh. Yeah, that's the power of bird blow, big blow. Just too much damage. Okay. We're definitely doing good though. I haven't even used any items yet, so landing surround would be nice. In this case, I should probably play it safe because, yeah, bird blow even with 2 casts of increase can do critical damage. So, all right. You can also use Lure Dance on this guy, but we only do that after we kind of land everything else. So I'm risking it a little bit with Lion X here. He's good though. Yeah, he has really high defense power. So after 2 increases, he's doing really good. We can't seem to land this surround though. Big. Okay. There
It is.
That's a woot. All right. So we just go in. So yeah, he can still hit us with vacuum, but at this stage, it's pretty good. I have the 2 World Do on hand, so this is where you engage power gaming mode, and you just go. If he hits you, it's time to World Do, slam it. You have no other use after this fight for it, so you might as well. Track slash, all right. Go for cautious. Countess, what do you think? Because I actually don't know the threshold for when an ally will heal percentage HP, right? It's like 75, 66, somewhere around there, right?
Yeah, probably. I'd say it's over 50%. Like a lot of the main series games, I feel like they're a little less aggressive with healing than in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
But since there's so many fights that we want to go into at max HP, it's really nice that the threshold's so high in here.
Yep. Also, you know, I'm playing like marathon safe kind of stuff. If you're really, really power gaming, what you can do is try to optimize this fight such that the other 2 characters, the Lion X and the Mimic, get knocked out, and all of the EXP goes to Big, the Whipbird.
Yeah, I think this is the first boss fight we fought that actually drops XP, but he gives a ton.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think split 3 ways, it's still 10,000, right?
Yeah, yeah. There it is. Yeah, 10,000, yeah. Excellent. Level 20 Tatsu Call is important. And yeah, really, really good. I'm just taking a minute here to confirm. Everything looks good. Time to get rid of Sleep Ball. 21, all right. Very good, very good. That gauntlet can definitely be scary if Duran can like outpace your Whipbird and just start hitting it with Bird Blow too much. And that's part of the danger of having 2 Whipbirds. So by combining them, he uses it slightly less often because there's only 1 target that's susceptible to it. So very good, very good. Take care of your sister, no matter what. All right. It's tournament time. Any tournament fans? So we get a little bit of a breather right before, not much, and yeah, the tournament is kind of like all high octane. So we definitely have a minute here before approaching the end of the run. So.
Or if I can jump in for a minute
Yep,
here.
for sure.
I just want to talk about some of our upcoming incentives now that all of the incentives for this game are closed. We did have a couple of incentives for Final Fantasy XIV, but those have both been met. So the next one coming up is Link's Awakening. There is a Name the Hero incentive that currently has a little bit of competition going on. But in addition to that, we have the Color Dungeon, which is an optional dungeon that will be, I believe, at the closer to the end of the run. That's about halfway there. It needs $1,500 altogether. It is currently sitting at $825. So I'd like to read a couple of donations here as well. We have $5 from Phoenix Captain. Let's get the Color Dungeon met. We also have $11.10 from Furet Skin. Eevees, much like Larpus, need all the pets. This goes towards petting Eevee in Pokemon Let's Go.
All right, so here we are, our first of 3 fights. So the first fight's not too dangerous, but again, we want to leave every fight with as much HP going into the next fight. And that's most important for the final fight, meaning the fight after this is the one we have to micromanage the most. But yeah, we can land defeat, which is good. Very nice. Part of the reason that Mimic is so valuable is that defeat spell. It really comes in handy in all 3 of these fights. So this is going pretty good. Countess, I might leave it up to you to to flash commentate the rest of this.
All right. So yeah, the first fight here is just pretty standard. Tough monsters that have area skills that they can throw at you. Not really much of a gimmick, except the Centosaurus stop spell.
It's good. It's good.
Second fight coming up can be kind of obnoxious depending on your team comp. We have Mad Dragon on the right, which has our favorite Massacre. Critical hit against random targets. He's also got Evil Slash if he wants to specifically focus your team. The Unicorn has Heal All and Revive. So if you don't kill it first, it'll bring up its allies. And then the Andriel on the left, he mostly uses Infernmost, but he can also use Poison Air if he wants to be really annoying. It's the strong Poison Breath that does quite a bit of damage per turn and makes it a lot harder for you to end this fight at high HP. So yeah, the Andriel has the most HP out of the 3, so it's usually going to be the last one alive, so you kind of have to deal with that Poison Breath a lot of the time, but don't really have any other options since the Unicorn revives and the Mad Dragon isn't what you want to be facing at the end either.
Yeah. And just to interject real quickly, there's a chance that we finish the next fight and it's just we've won, but it is more likely that we're going to have to try a few times, right? We'll see how it goes. It could be over soon, it could be a while, so just letting you know.
Huge defeat there.
Yeah, it was good.
I'll just kind of lean into the next fight just in case it happens to be fast. But the final battle is going to be a King Metal, which is, just like that Metabel, we can't do more than 1 point of damage to it each turn. There's a Coatl monster, which is a specific to DQM monster, kind of like a snaky-looking dragon. It's probably going to cast Explodet every single turn. And there's a Rainhawk, which will, on hopefully turn 1, sometimes it decides to be annoying and do it turn 2, will cast Mega Magic, which will do tons of damage to our team, about 250 to everybody. And so that's why we have so much HP on this Whipbird, because you need to be able to survive the full first turn while defending, and then second turn you have to survive long enough to heal up, because her monsters are very fast. None of our team has higher agility than any of her team.
Yeah, and quickly, I'm worried in this situation that the Mimic has not enough health, that the Whipbird is going to heal instead of defend, and it could spell disaster.
Yeah.
So we gotta hope that the Whipbird uses strong D or regular defense, and if it goes for a heal, I want the other 2 party members to get knocked out. So let's see how it goes. It actually did strong D, so that's good.
Nice.
So it'll survive. Magic. Okay, there it is. Gorp down.
Gorp down.
So this is good. So we can use mixed here. We're hoping to see Tatsu. This is a very good start, but we have to look out for Kotal using Evil Slash. Very good, very good.
Nice.
We really needed that. So that's not guaranteed to go through.
So Tatsu Call summons a hidden party member to team up with us that can, it'll hopefully just put out some consistent DPS, cast it's either Bolt or Zap, I forget, but it can also do some other helpful things like cast Heal More on you if you need an emergency heal.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just going to kind of slowly try to get some debuffs out when we have a turn that we don't need to heal.
Yep. So this is great, but we're still at the mercy of the Kotal using Evil Slash and landing on us.
Yep.
Okay, good. Didn't use it. Healed up. Yep. So on my off turns where I'm at max health, I'll use Mix to try to reduce their defense so that Tatsu's physical or health. Yeah, it could use Increase too, which is good.
Yeah. If we can get rid of the Coatl, then it's a pretty safe fight from there on out. The Rainhawk is mostly useless because Mega Magic spends all of your MP, so it doesn't have any options of doing anything else.
Okay, good.
But,
good.
Okay.
Thanks, Tatsu. All right. It's just the Kotal right now that's scary.
Tatsu collapsed, but he's back up.
Nice.
That's so good.
Insta
That's so
resummon.
good.
It is.
All right. Come on. Okay. No Evil Slash. Looking good. Hanging in there. Would prefer physical attacks on the Kodal, but it's
Yeah.
not bad.
It's 40 instead of 60. It could be worse.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Bolt Slash, good.
Defense, we love to see it.
Okay.
Now we want to see not that.
It's okay. I'm gonna just tank it from here and let Tatsu deal with it. Because Tatsu is taking a decent amount. Oh, see? That's why defense is sometimes helpful. There it is.
There it
Nice.
This is really good. Really good. Because now with the defense down, both Bic and Tatsu can start attacking. It's looking good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got plenty of MP. It's very unlikely you lose at this point. But
Yeah.
The Middle King really doesn't have much recourse for
No.
Vic plus Tatsu.
Yeah.
And it's
Very nice.
the Metal Bowl from S-Glass is way more dangerous than this thing.
Yeah, it has Firebolt every turn for about 100 damage. This thing only does about like 40 or 50 if you don't resist it.
Yeah.
But Bic resisted and Tatsu's immune. So it's got 8 HP, so we'll chip it down 1 point at a time unless we get a crit in here. But
All right, no hubris. Just
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
What's the most dangerous thing Metal King can do?
actually, yeah, it's just that. Actually.
It's just zap. Okay.
it punches sometimes, but with his defense power, it probably won't.
Mm.
Boom!
Boom. Damn. GG.
Well,
Great run.
Is that time?
I don't know where the volatility went.
well,
Is that time?
It's it's technically time. We typically go through JRTA, but like for the purpose of this, it's time. And I know it's
Nice.
ahead of schedule, but yeah, really, really good. I couldn't be happier with a run than that.
Yeah.
that was
Like,
amazing.
Game threw a lot of good stuff my way, and it just kind of worked out.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
Great showing. So
Guess who came through for you at the end there?
first time ever.
Tatsu.
Can you actually say the words out loud, or
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vic.
Hold on.
Tatsu did great. Yeah.
Oh, Tatsu. Yeah, he's
yeah,
right
yeah,
there. Yeah, he's right.
true?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's technically the end. We just go through the credits from here. Yeah, hopefully this was a good showcase. The game definitely threw a lot of really good stuff my way. Got a lot of money, and also just recruiting monsters was not a problem. Right, I had to try the picky twice at the beginning, but the Draki was like first try, and then everything else was pretty good. So yeah, definitely. I had even more money that I didn't do anything with, so which is not common.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to the host. So, final shout outs. Absolutely. Dragon Quest community. It's really good. I've been around it for a while, and it's cool. It's like every year we see like new faces show up, and it's not the most popular speedrunning side of things, but it's always got like a lot of people that really care about it, and so thanks to TheCowness for helping with the experience of like specifically doing runs of this game. And it's cool because it's not just any percent. There's many other categories. A lot of them are really long. So thanks to TheCowness, thanks to my fellas, Countdown and Bic, of course. And thanks for everybody for showing up. And I'm super happy to have done this run. So I'll hand it over to the host, and thanks a lot.
Thank you so much to cleartonic for that amazing run. Never seen that game before, but that was a lot of fun to watch. That was a nice in-depth commentary. Didn't have a whole lot of chances to jump in, but you know what? There are worse problems to have. Tantra Merch is excited to partner with RPG Limit Break for the first time to launch an exclusive merch collection supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The lineup includes 8 unique shirt designs, including a replica of this year's 10th anniversary attendee shirt, as well as a cozy blanket, a sleek journal, an enamel pin, a stainless steel water bottle, an RPG LB cap, and more. Featuring bold graphics to heartfelt designs, $5 from every sale of these items goes directly to charity. Explore the full collection now at tantramerch.com/RPGLimitBreak and help make a difference. While I have some time here, I'd like to just read a few more donations that came in during the end of that run there. We have $20 from Desert Eagle 417 with no comment. And $25 from Zombo Rombo with no comment. But thank you so very much for contributing to the wonderful cause we have here. All right, we're going to go to a quick ad break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.